Brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you. Landon Schmidt producing. We're with you for the next 3 hours. A ton to get into this afternoon as we saw a massive 6-team trade in the NBA last night, encompassing a bunch of previously reported trades involving the Memphis Grizzlies. We'll talk a lot about the Grizzlies. We'll talk some baseball, some football as we wrapped up Big 12 Media Days today, so plenty to get into. We'll also talk some golf, so we'll make our golf picks here in about an hour or so. So a lot to get into over these next 3 hours. But Brett, how are you this afternoon?
Brian, I'm doing well. I think Brandon Webb's going today for the Giants, isn't he?
Yes, he is on the mound right now and is not looking good at all.
Well, that could set him up to be the National League starter, though, with the days off, because a lot of guys have already been eliminated.
Yeah.
That could be. Mizrachi, Skeens.
Yeah, no, it's been kind of rough for some guys, and the timing has maybe not played out, but hopefully they're not looking at today's results, because already 5 runs given up in the first inning, so hadn't been a good outing for him. But we're starting to get more clarity on the All-Star rosters as they've been announced, but now we're seeing some injuries and different things. But yeah, no, that's the thing. A lot of guys making the All-Star team. We'll see those replacements start coming out. We'll get more clarity on home run derby, things like that, as we slowly make our way to All-Star week.
We will next Tuesday night in Philadelphia. Looking forward to it. I'm not going to lose my mind over it. But I think to be designated an All-Star, you need to be there and introduced to the line.
Yeah, no, I think so as well.
And I don't think it should be a 35 and 40 man roster.
No. I think we need to keep it clean and concise. But obviously, when you've got the fan vote that you have out there, you've got the at least one player from every team represented. I mean, you get to a point where now you got a bunch of guys in there when you start having all that. So it definitely makes it a little interesting when you see some of the names out there that
they're going to be from home plate to the right and left field corners. There'll be so many. No, but you're right on everybody having a player rep, but that was lost a million years ago.
Oh yeah, no, they're never going back from that, and so it's just one of those things.
It's an exhibition game, just enjoy it.
I mean, it's nothing to lose your mind over. It's fun for a night for everyone to kind of be represented and celebrate the league.
One thing, spontaneous combustion, lose my mind.
Okay.
Maybe final straw.
Okay.
A player that's been spent, that's been used. They put him back in because they're running out of players.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's the thing. It feels like they've got almost too many guys. I mean, half the time you look at these pitching rotations or these even the player rotations of guys that they have, it almost feels like you kind of look at it before the game starts and goes, how are they going to get all of these guys into the game?
And sometimes they don't.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. So hopefully we don't get to that. But yeah, that would be a leap if we. I don't think I'd lose my mind over it just because it's an all-star game, it's an exhibition, and who cares? But it would only kind of open the door a crack for them to start doing that in regular games.
That's and it's all a man named Fred needs in that big suggestion box on Park Avenue at the offices of Major League Baseball. Just anything. Oh yeah, that wasn't so bad. We can do that all the time.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think
because somewhere, I wonder when the origin of it was. It was implemented for the season of '73, a million years ago. Now I know that. I recognize that. But I wonder with the first seed, the genesis of, let's try DH.
Yeah.
50s, early 60s, when? Speaking of late 60s, don't want to spend a lot of time on it. Go to ESPN real quick. Go to the front page of ESPN and kind of look at their bullet point headlines for me.
Yeah.
And I think we'll be on the same one. Tell me what the fourth headline is.
On top headlines?
No, yeah.
The fourth one for me is, let me make sure I am seeing all of them in full screen correctly. The fourth one for me is 1, 2, 3, 4. Blackhawks star Connor Bedard to miss the start of the season. Huge news right there. I mean, Bedardski out to start the season for the.
That's not mine. Do you see one about Regan, ex-MLB pitcher?
Yeah, that's fifth for me on my top headline.
That's Phil Regan. And serviceable type pitcher in the 60s with the Dodgers, with the Cubs, with the Dodgers when they got beat by the Orioles in '66 in the World Series. With the Cubs, he was the relief guy for the Cubs when they gagged away the big lead and ended up, it wasn't even close for the Mets winning the division in '69. Passed away today, and I'm holding it up now where you can see it.
Oh,
see
wow.
my book?
Yeah.
About Phil Regan.
Holy cow.
You want to really have your mind blown?
Yeah.
I want Landon to hear this, too.
Oh, jeez.
I won this at a vacation Bible school contest. Whoa. And on the inside, I'm going to read the exact words on the inside. Okay. Can you see that?
Yeah, I can see it.
On the inside, presented by the Bible Memory Association.
Wow.
Now, is that not an august body?
Oh, no kidding. That is incredible.
That's Alpha and Omega, isn't it?
No kidding.
Presented by the Bible Memory Association, St. Louis, Missouri. I wonder if it still exists. I wonder if I could go cash it, go up to him and go, hey, I'm the number one Cardinal fan Tom Ackerman's ever known. Right. Does this help me? Presented to A. Brett Norsworthy. First name's Adam. A. Brett Norsworthy. As a reward for memorizing scripture in the annual contest.
How about that? Wow.
See there?
Wow, look at that.
Not only am I going to make it to college football heaven, right. I'm going to make it to the real place.
No kidding. No kidding. That is that is good stuff.
Phil Regan.
Holy cow. Who would have thought? That is the most wild collaboration all put together. That is insane.
Well, it all comes full circle.
I guess so.
I mean, and I don't really remember him playing. Late '60s at the latest. I don't remember the '66 World Series. I was 4, but I've read about him through the years. I think his nickname. What was his nickname? I think the Hawk, something like that. Anyway,
interesting.
But I tell y'all, I know the good book.
You sure do. I had
Brian,
doubt
I could
on
learn those. I could learn those Bible verses and spit them back out. I mean, it was like it. I mean, I knew I had it down.
Yeah.
And I mean, they going, oh my God, this weirdo.
Well, hey, I mean, you got it down. That's all that matters. The Vulture was
the Vulture.
Was his
That's
nickname.
it.
What
That's
a nickname.
it. That's
the
it.
Vulture. Oh man.
Yeah, I knew I was close on a bird.
That is scary right there. Well, R.I.P. to Big Phil, to the Big Vulture. That is definitely
89 years young.
Yeah, no kidding. That is definitely sad news to
hear.
Old. Well, yeah. Hey, no, we like to keep it young around here. 89 years young. I mentioned the 6-team trade we saw last night in the NBA.
Did you get dealt for a second rounder?
Yeah, no, I was on the move last night, Brett. I was they were shipping me off for a pair
love
of
second rounders, don't we?
Yeah, it's the second picks that will absolutely get you. But it's a lot of stuff in there, obviously, with 6 teams, so I'm not going to go through all of it. But the gist is kind of all of the previously reported trades that we've seen the Grizzlies make between getting Isaiah Stewart and dealing Santi Aldama. That was the Grizzlies portion of this. They get in this trade when it was all said and done and the dust settled and it was just officially official about an hour ago. The Grizzlies receive Isaiah Stewart, D'Angelo Russell, A.J. Johnson, a Golden State Warriors first, a 2029 Houston second, a 2029 Lakers second, a 2032 pick swap, I believe that is. So a lot of stuff in there for the Memphis Grizzlies that they got in return for those 2 trades that they made.
Should I buy a D'Lo jersey?
You should not buy a D'Lo jersey. I do not think any D'Lo jerseys will be available for sale. I do not think he even steps foot in the city of Memphis.
More will hit the fan store at FedEx.
I don't think so. That felt like one where they were going to take that in, maybe get some more assets, let that trade, facilitate that trade a little bit, and then it feels like he's going to be dealt. A.J. Johnson in there. I would kind of be surprised if A.J. Johnson remains on the team going into the season. I would love to see him. I don't know if the plan is, obviously, because this hasn't been reported, or at least official until today. They haven't been able to say anything or do anything about that. I'll be curious to see if A.J. Johnson joins the Summer League team as they go to Vegas for that game on Friday. But I could see them moving on from him. Very, very small contract. It feels like out of all of this, obviously you get all the assets, you get the draft capital. It feels like Isaiah Stewart is the only player in this deal that will actually suit up for the Memphis Grizzlies.
So I can get a number 28?
You can get a number 28. I feel pretty good that he'll be with the Grizzlies this year. Outside of that, I make no promises.
Bryant, taking you and Connor to lunch next week anyway to discuss a lot of things coming up in
Yes.
the future. Sorry, Landon, we're not cutting you out.
Well, when you leave us, you don't get invited to lunch.
Right.
It's just how it works.
Please don't. But not just lunch next week. Lunch for the rest of the month.
Okay.
The only 28 worn in Grizzlies history.
Only 28 worn in Grizzlies. Oh man, I have no idea at all.
This year.
Really? Okay, I'm gonna make a guess. I don't even know if he was with the Grizzlies. So I was trying to look up if he even played for the Grizzlies. He didn't, so that can't be my guess. I have no idea. I can't even make a guess.
13 games, uniform number 28, number 1 in your heart, Charles Bassey.
Oh, man. If I had really gone through who played for the Grizzlies last year, I could have got Charles Bassey, but there were a lot of guys that suited up for the Grizzlies last year, and I was a little intimidated to try to go
1,000 guess. I would have guessed Phil Regan.
Well, here's the thing.
Bassey.
I don't remember him at all being
I'd
number
have guessed
28.
Donald Regan, former Treasury Secretary
there you go.
before Charles Bassey.
I don't remember him at all wearing the number 28. He's just one of the few obscure Grizzlies that I can remember playing for them last year.
13 games this year.
Yeah, he was one of those.
If I realized that.
Yeah, he was one of those 10-day additions kind of early before they really just started adding guys every other day. He got, I believe, 10 days with the Grizzlies before they ended up letting him go. So big number 28. Now we'll get another 28 with the Grizzlies. So that'll be fun. I'm excited to see Isaiah Stewart in a Grizzlies uniform.
Landon Bryant, would y'all believe me? Well, I'm gonna make a comment, and y'all tell me if you believe me or not.
Okay.
I've really missed the soccer today.
Oh, I believe you. I've been devastated.
I've missed the soccer today.
I have really missed the soccer.
It's been a slow day because of it. I mean, it has been
baseball just getting started later. I enjoyed Big 12 media days, but kind of got lost a little bit in it this afternoon.
Yeah, that's understandable. I didn't pay much attention to Big 12 media days today. I'll be honest.
I did. I had it. I did, but I missed the football.
Yeah, no, I mean the not having the football today definitely hurt, because I mean it's one of those things, whether you're a big fan of the sport or not, once you start following it and you've got it day after day after day, and not just day after day after day, multiple games every single day, then when we get to this part where we just have a day that's empty, it kind of hits you. So we'll get some action tomorrow afternoon, 3:00, France and Morocco. But yeah, over these next couple of days. I'm for France, which I kind of hate to say because they feel like one of those powerhouse teams, and I kind of like going for the underdogs.
What, France, snooty? That's never been referenced ever.
Definitely not. No.
France, effete?
No, never. No snootiness about him. But I kind of like Mbappe. I kind of like this France team. So
I really like Mbappe.
I'll root for France tomorrow against Morocco.
Going for Morocco.
There you go. Hey, there you go. Mr.
Gotta
Underdog.
be different out there.
That is Brett. So yeah, these next couple days going to be a little slow.
Brett, the Bible theologian.
That's right. The Bible theologian.
Always told
Mr.
y'all
Underdog.
I knew the good book, didn't I?
Sure did, and I always believed you.
Now you got to follow it.
Well, I guess that's part of it as well. You watch any of the Summer League last night?
A smidge.
Yo, you're a better man than I am.
Just a dash.
I didn't even turn it on. I didn't even. 12
minutes maybe of real time, not game time.
You could have told me there were no Summer League games last night at all, and I would have said, "You're right." I didn't even think about him last night.
I tell you what I really do like, and I like him. I don't know him that well, but he used to do CBS games some, kind of the second CBS game, Tavern. I like Craig Bolerjack, and I love from the NC State National Championship team. Is it Thurl Bailey? Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. No, they've been good.
And I so many guys on that 1983 NC State big 30 for 30 stole the show. So many did.
Yeah.
Jimmy V in his absence, just the legacy of him was great. Terry Gannon's great on it. Sidney Lowe was great on it. Derek Wittenberg was great on it. Lorenzo Charles in his absence was great on it. Cozell McQueen was great on it. I thought Thurl Bailey was the best.
Yeah, I believe it.
When it comes on, it's a little bit, because it's really with Phi Slamma Jamma. They're forever linked.
Absolutely.
And I always watch the one on Phi Slamma Jamma, and I always watch the one on NC State. And Thurl Bailey is very impressive, man.
Yeah, no, both those really, really good 30 for 30. So, he's been good. That team's been good throughout the summer league. And now
I didn't know that's what Craig Bowler-Jack did now. I didn't know he was local Jazz.
I guess so. But we'll get the Las Vegas Summer League started tomorrow with a bunch of games. Grizzlies, they won't get started until Friday night. They'll have one of those marquee games on Friday. It'll be a Prime Video game, so a little tougher to go and watch that one on Friday against the Bulls.
How about Shohei last night?
Yeah, no, he's incredible. He is he's a great player, and it's too bad, the team as a whole couldn't rally and get that win because you kind of look at him and what he does.
Rockies pushed to Monday night.
Yeah, but it's kind of hard to look at Shohei and then see the loss 4-3. It's so a tough game for the Dodgers, but good for the Rockies getting
300 homers. We'll talk more about that when we get into baseball.
Yeah, no, definitely a big milestone for Shohei Ohtani. But we got a busy show today, so let me set it up before we get to top and not top story of the day. 3:30. This will be fun. Brett, you saw a list last night. You sent it to me of the kind of top 10 most miserable fan bases in sports. So we're gonna kind of do our own top 10 most miserable fan bases in sports. Top 10 list for all of us, and then we'll kind of talk about the local teams, kind of where they sit on a kind of misery index, if you will, right now. So
kind of like the heat index.
That's exactly right, which will be fun because I think a lot of the teams in the area are having a good time right now, having a decent time right now. But I think
we get a little wild with the heat index, don't you?
Oh, all the time. All the time.
And why is it every single July, it's like it's breaking news that it's hot in Memphis?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know.
Wouldn't the weather story really be if it was 82 and a 10-mile per hour northwest wind? Wouldn't that really be the weather story?
That would be the news. But man, Brett, I do walk out a lot of days, especially in early July, and go, "Ooh, man. It's hot out here."
I early this morning, I was walking, sweating mashed potatoes.
Oh yeah, no, it's hot out there. So it feels like it's news to me every day when I walk outside that it is so hot.
But it's just almost like a shock. Like, where
does
he come from?
Yeah, it does. It's weird, but it hits me almost every day. It's right. It's that time of year in this type of area of the country. But we'll do that in our next segment at 3:30. 3:45, we'll talk some baseball. As like we mentioned, one game going on right now, Toronto and San Francisco. Early in that one, Toronto all over the Giants right now. We'll talk some baseball from last night. News around the league. We'll do all that at 3:45. 4 o'clock, John Goen from Timber Trust. He'll join us. We'll talk some golf with him. We'll also make our weekly golf picks like we do every single Wednesday afternoon. 4:30, we'll talk some NBA. We'll get a little bit more into the trade that we saw last night, the 6-teamer that it felt like it involved everybody in the NBA. We'll talk some other NBA news, talk a little summer league as well. We'll do that at 4:30. 4:45, big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Matt Murschel from the Orlando Sentinel. He'll join us. He was at Big 12 Media Days. That wrapped up today. We'll talk a lot of Big 12 with him. He also covers UCF, so we'll talk the Golden Knights as well. Plenty to discuss after the 2-day media days for the Big 12. 5:30, we'll talk about what's trending, and at 5:45, we'll wrap up today's show like we always do with Mo's Crunch Time. Well, let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. We were just talking about how hot it is. Well, that's because summer is here, and it's time to get those backyards ready for the ultimate pool party. Above ground pools starting at $39.99 installed, with in-ground pools starting at $49,999. All in-stock patio furniture is priced to move, with 5-piece patio furniture sets starting at just $999. Outdoor sectionals, they're starting at $12.99 with free umbrella and base available with select patio furniture sets. Don't forget about the hot tubs and the swim spas. Hot tubs starting at $34.99 with swim spas at $16,999. Special financing is available, and if you mention this ad, get $200 off any pool or spa purchase. So head out there to Family Leisure, 2120 Witten Road, just north of I-40.
We are Sportstime, live and local and with you until 6 o'clock, produced by our good friend Landon Schmidt. He's Brian, I'm Brett, and we're with you until 6, and we want you to be a part of our show by texting or calling 901-360-8255. That's the Sissy's Log Cabin text and talk line. All our guests will join us on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest line at 901-360-8255. Always live and local from our family leisure studios, and anything for the pool or for the patio or for the outdoors. That's where you need to be. That's at Family Leisure. This hour brought to you every day by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2026 models and always special leasing options. Drive in luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. You can call them at 901-334-9673, but they invite you to stop by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway, and that's where you can put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2026 flagship LS500, and you'll be driving in style, the only Lexus dealership in Memphis. And when you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the safe luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
Top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day, it was that massive 6-team trade that we saw in the NBA last night, tying up a ton of previously reported trades to make everything go through seamlessly, and we'll see what ultimately happens with the Grizzlies from this trade. We mentioned who they got in return with this trade, Isaiah Stewart, which that one was reported all the way back during the draft, the second round of the draft. That trade was reported. A.J. Johnson, that one was part of the Santi Aldama trade that was reported last week. And the new name, D'Angelo Russell. I think it's a guarantee that Isaiah Stewart will be on this team next season with the Memphis Grizzlies. The other two, I really don't know. I feel like it's a guarantee D'Angelo Russell will not be a Grizzly. I doubt he even steps foot in Memphis. That will be a quick either buy out that contract, send him somewhere else. I don't think he comes anywhere close to Memphis. But A.J. Johnson, that will be the question. I would expect, nothing official yet, but I would expect for him to join the Grizzlies for the Las Vegas Summer League, giving that coaching staff, giving that front office an opportunity to see him with some of those other guys, see what he can bring to the table. When you have this type of roster crunch, he could be a very easy guy with the type of contract he has to buy out, just get rid of, free up one of those spots. But this is still a young guy, former first-round pick, still kind of raw. Maybe they see some potential there and want to keep him around in what will be these next, at least this season, probably next season, of really a building period. So he could be the question mark, but right now, if I had to guess, I would say he's probably not around for the start of the season. But with that trade, a lot of draft capital coming Memphis's way, and we've seen with every move that they've made all the way back to the trade deadline when they traded Jaren Jackson Jr., that's the most important thing for them right now. They are stockpiling a lot of this draft capital. We saw the Thunder do it before this run that they've been on these last couple of years. We'll see if the Grizzlies can get on a similar run, but it takes time, and we'll see what other moves, because we know they've got to get that roster down, what other moves we see over the next couple weeks.
My top story, and you talked about it yesterday when Greg Gaston was tweeting pictures from the visitation that a lot of people could go on yesterday of the stadium being remodeled. Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium, home of the Tigers, all set for the big reopening for the Arkansas State game. 1-0 after defeating UNLV will really help with all the hoopla. Built in 1965, 50,000 seats, so 4,000 less than when it was opened in 65. Expanded in 87. It's been drawn down through the years to around 58,000, and now Ed Scott says the capacity will be around, his exact number was 45,632. Crowds in the mid 60,000s are the largest for college crowds in that stadium. It will be 20,000 less than the biggest crowd ever for the new capacity. But that they wanted to draw it down to have some value in the ticketing for the University of Memphis, the primary tenant. It's not the Liberty Bowl. It's not anything else. The primary tenant is, and now the owner, it's the University of Memphis. 6 o'clock kickoff on that Saturday against Arkansas State. At 1-0, it shouldn't even be an issue. Even at 0-1, 6 o'clock, any kind of decent weather, that first number's got to be a 4 on that. A 4, and everybody knows it's real. Not 4 and it insults your intelligence.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited. Obviously, seeing some of those pictures and stuff that came out yesterday. Excited to see it and get a lot of people in there for that first game against Arkansas State. But you're right, you can really take that excitement to another level with the Week 0 victory over UNLV.
Not top story of the day.
Well, my not top story of the day, it is day 2 of Big 12 Media Day. We saw half the teams go yesterday, the other half of the teams go today. Arizona, Cincinnati, Iowa State, Kansas State, TCU, Utah, and West Virginia all taking the podium earlier today. And while it wasn't a huge topic today at Big 12 Media Days, but the reports coming out that the NCAA has opened an inquiry into Cincinnati over Brendan Sorsby. So after all the questions yesterday about Brendan Sorsby with Texas Tech, now it's taking a turn for Cincinnati. But I think Cincinnati, really interesting team I did not know, and he was in attendance today at Big 12 Media Days. Their starting quarterback this year, J.C. French, he started his career at the University of Memphis, transferred down to Georgia Southern after redshirting a season, and now after having a really nice career at Georgia Southern, he'll head up to Cincinnati and is set to be their starting quarterback. But you look at all of these teams that went today, I think really, really interesting teams. We talked about them yesterday, a handful of these teams yesterday when we were talking about Big 12 Media Day. What can Arizona do this year with Noah Fafita coming back? What can a team like Utah with Devin Dampier coming back? What can they do? West Virginia, could they be a sneaky team in this conference? Kansas, we've seen them have a lot of success over the last couple of years.
In a rebuilt stadium.
That's exactly right. Iowa State with new pretty much everything on that roster, on that coaching staff. What do they look like in
with
the 2026
coach from Washington
season?
State?
That's right. Yeah. So it's a lot of questions, and I think a lot of excitement around some of these teams that took the podium today at Big 12 Media Days.
And I'm telling you, 5 more minutes to play, Washington State would have beat Ole Miss last year.
Yeah, it was a great game last year.
Just get to all zeros. Could not put them away all day. Finally, they just ran out of time. My not top story, Golden State passed on Quentin Post. So welcome to Mempho, Big Q. Hope he's a wingman, a backup, a heavy for Zach Edey. It all boils down to Edey for next year. Everybody knows that. Near term, long term, this year, the future, next year's draft. It's all dependent on Edey and his health. We just need Quentin Post to be a helper. We can't depend on him.
No. And that's I'm sure what the plan is for the Grizzlies, but we know that health for Zach Edey is always going to be the question for this Grizzlies team. But that'll do it for top and not top story of the day. Let's get to our first break, and when we return, we talk about some of these most miserable fan bases across the country. We do that next on Sportstime.
Be sure to download our Hub 901 app for instant access to Sports 56 and all the Flynn broadcasting stations from anywhere. Go to the App Store and get the Hub 901 app today.
Whether you're buying, selling, or just want a fast cash offer, call Bubba Sandifer at Emmett Baird Realty at 901-257-9420 or direct at 901-319-0747. Looking to buy? Bubba will help you find that perfect home. Thinking about selling? Don't just stick a sign in your yard and hope for the best. With Bubba Sandifer at Emmett Baird Realty, you get maximum exposure, serious buyers, and real results. Want speed? He'll buy it as is for cash. Want top dollar? He'll list it. Either way, you win. Call Bubba Sandifer at 901-319-0747.
4th of July savings are happening now at the Home Depot with select appliances starting at $398. Plus, get free delivery on appliance purchases of $398 or more, no membership required. Upgrade your kitchen with a modern and sleek GE Profile refrigerator featuring hands-free autofill for the perfect pour every time. And make laundry day easier with 2-in-1 washer-dryer combo innovation that completes laundry in about 90 minutes. Shop top brand appliances now at the Home Depot. Offer valid June 17th to July 8th, U.S. only. See store online for details.
Uncorked flavor, Corky's barbecue. We're cooking it up, down home way. Hickory smoke flavor like the good old days.
Hey y'all, Jimmy Stovall here with Corky's Barbecue. Catering is our specialty. Memphians have trusted Corky's to cater their events for 40 years because we make it easy for you and delicious for your guests. Whether it's 50 people or a crowd of thousands, our experienced team comes to your location, sets up, serves, and ensures everyone enjoys a Corky's all-you-can-eat barbecue buffet starting at only $7.99 per person. You can't beat it. With 40 years of experience, it's easy to see why customers choose Corky's time and time again for all of their catering needs. Visit Corky'sBBQ.com to book us for your next party.
Encore flavor, Corky's barbecue.
It's true. East Memphis Ace Hardware is closing. But just like always, they're taking care of you with a big going out of business sale. Everything in the store is 30% off. Everything, including the Big Green Egg and all Weber grills. Some things have additional savings, like Amy Howard paint at 75% off. Come in and save like it's goodbye, because it is. Save at least 30% on everything in the store. East Memphis Ace Hardware, corner of White Station and Quince, going out of business.
Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, come hang out on the back porch. An hour full of the hottest topics and important people around the SEC and only the SEC. The Back Porch, Saturday morning at 10 right here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. T-Dot's out here assisting with a couple of accidents as it builds now through the Midtown area. As we check it out live, 240 south here at South Parkway. The further south you go of Memphis, there's been quite a bit of radar scattered down through there earlier on 55 through certain parts of DeSoto County. As it builds now, 240 getting on to 385 Dillmore's Parkway. It's actually cranking up pretty good, headed out towards the Collierville area. Bridal season is here. South Local today at Weimer's Jewelry, conveniently located 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you, and we're going to take a look at some miserable fans. We don't usually like to talk about the miserable fans, but we're going to today. That's because, Brett, you saw this tweet and sent it to me last night. It's Bussin' with the Boys posted this, their top 10 most miserable fan bases. Top 10, I'll list it from 10 to 1. 10, Tennessee Volunteers. 9, Miami Dolphins. 8, Chicago White Sox. 7, Sacramento Kings. 6, Dallas Cowboys. 5, Nebraska Cornhuskers. 4, Colorado Rockies. 3, Toronto Maple Leafs. 2, Cleveland Browns. And number 1, the New York Jets.
Were you surprised the Buffalo Bills aren't in there?
Yeah, I was actually. I was surprised that the Buffalo Bills weren't in there.
How miserable are you when you can get drunk enough and jump through a table?
I think maybe.
And you've won a lot. You just hadn't won the biggest one.
Maybe the most miserable if you're getting so drunk that you're jumping through tables.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I know there's different sides of being drunk, but if I'm jumping through tables, I got to be pretty miserably drunk.
Why the White Sox?
Well, I mean, you look at these last, 5 or 6 seasons, it's been a lot of dysfunction and a lot of ugly play, and it hadn't been fun. It certainly hadn't been, and I think, you look across the street, not that the Cubs have been great, but they're certainly much better than what that franchise has been the last couple of years.
Great take. You just hit on one of the key ingredients of sports fandom's misery.
Yep.
It's what the neighbor's doing.
Oh, absolutely.
And if you're just kind of middling along and neighbors sailing along, it's like if the neighbor won the Powerball.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
You're happy for him.
Sure.
But how happy are you for him?
It could have been me.
Yeah. Or the guy one person in front of you.
Exactly.
Well, way to go.
Yeah. Good job.
Have a great life.
Yeah. If you had not
think
about
me when you're in Morocco.
That's exactly right. So yeah, I was definitely surprised Buffalo wasn't in there. When I kind of saw what the list was, I expected Buffalo to be there. But the other teams on this list, I don't hate. I'm kind of surprised Tennessee at number 10. I think that's just football and kind of what has happened, especially over these last couple of years.
And the neighbor.
Sure, that's
Bama and Georgia.
Yeah, no, that definitely plays a role into it.
And the last 2 years, the neighbor, Vanderbilt.
Yeah, well, hey, that's another good point. So, yeah, but I'm still surprised to see them at number 10. I certainly don't have them on my list.
I think the neighborhood does more to make the misery than your actual wins and losses.
Oh, definitely. I think it absolutely does. I mean, like we just said, when you're kind of looking around, you see everyone else having fun outside, and you're stuck inside. You're not having much fun.
Number 10 for me. You ready?
Let's go.
Number 10 for me. UCLA basketball, the drought it's real. Yeah. 95 with Jimmy Herrick, last title. They've tried every coach. They've tried every system. They're trying different leagues. And nothing ends up very good for them. Number 9 for me, I'm there with Tennessee football. And it's because they see a lot of what the neighborhood's doing. And they were there, and they in Tennessee in the 90s, now a long time ago, they really thought they had become one of the nuclear club members just off the work in the 90s. And that the 90s was really the outlier. Yeah. That was really the best decade. Number 8 for me, y'all know I know it well. I had to let them go. It was them. It was not me. They can't hurt me anymore. No. The Toronto Maple Leafs just can't do it. Leaves. Scram. Number 7, a lot goes into this one. The nickname goes into it. The team dysfunction goes into it. And it's the Washington Commanders. I think most of their loyal base, they want to be the Washington Redskins. Sure. I don't think they're even going to be able to get it done at the new dome. No. I just don't think the league is going to do that. Will do that. Maybe the power of Magic Johnson if he wants to take that on. But look at them in the wilderness, a long way. And then they're in their neighborhood. Number 6, the Dallas Cowboys. I think it speaks for itself. Number 5, the Dolphins. We are so far removed. We're so far removed from Marino and Shula. Never mind undefeated. Number 4, in the neighborhood. And in the neighborhood bothers them, and it's Arkansas football. It does not resemble what it did. Really, when was the last great Razorback win? Yeah. Was it Bobby Petrino in a Cotton Bowl? Yeah. Now, they might say the win over Penn State in the Outback Bowl, but that led to digging deeper with Sam Pittman. Sure. That great win hurt in the end. And just a year before that, they were telling me that winning the Outback Bowl didn't matter when Ole Miss won the Outback Bowl. Yeah. And Arkansas fans can tell you all they want to. One of the things that bothers them the most right now is while they're doing what they're doing, Ole Miss is doing what they're doing. Yeah. Number 3, Nebraska football. It's on every list. But how miserable are they? They still take over opposing cities when they go there, but it's just not as loud and as proud. Number 2, Cleveland in everything. Baseball, football, Browns, Guardians, by any name, Cleveland in everything. And number 1, when Super Bowl III is all you have to hang your hat on, and Joe Namath's famous guarantee, it's been a long, long drought. Number 1, the New York Jets. Yeah. No, I like that list. That's a really, really good list. A lot of similar names on my list. With your list, so I'll go with mine. I have an OLI. It is the Chicago White Sox. They've been a fun team this year, but I know they're leading the division, but I think it's been even more of a big story because of how bad they've been the last couple of years, how the level of dysfunction. They won in 2005. What did the White Sox expect? Brad, I was 5 years old. Connie. That's a long time ago for me. So, I can't even take that into account. But it's been when you, and I think that's part of this, and you're going to see it with I think a couple of teams on here. Go back to, what was it, 2021?
the White Sox thought they had a roster that would win a World Series.
And a manager.
That could win a World Series. And then it all just exploded. And it was not pretty at all. Now the roster is completely different than what it was from then. And they had to go all the way back to the bottom and really start back over. And so I think that can be very, very miserable. When you go to Chicago, when you kind of talk Chicago baseball, it's always kind of the Cubs are the older brother, the White
Big
Sox
party.
are the little brother that they're
Cub
patting
fans
on the
are
head.
never miserable.
No, they definitely aren't. So I got the White Sox as an OLI for me. But hey, I didn't put them in my top 10 because you're right. They won a World Series back in 2005. They're leading the division right now. They're a fun team to watch. So I can't put them in my top 10 because really, how miserable are you? Number 10 for me, the Miami Dolphins. You talked a lot about it, so I won't spend as much time about it, but I think you saw recently with what they had, the players that they were bringing in, thinking that Tua Tagovailoa was going to be the answer, having this whiz kid of a head coach come in and Mike McDaniel, and then we're
and they don't
now,
play at the Orange Bowl.
Well,
anymore.
and that's another part of it. But with the Dolphins, how miserable can you be when you're living in Miami? You got South Beach right down the street. I can't put you that high in my top 10.
Shorts on Christmas Day.
You can't be that miserable. Number 9 for me, the Sacramento Kings. I mean, half the time we forget about what's going on in Sacramento with the Kings because of the time difference and just because of how bad that franchise has been over the years.
They really are the dark side of the moon.
Oh, they are. I mean, it's kind of the joke of when someone goes there, gets traded there, drafted there, man, yeah, your career's over. Yeah, your career's over because you're going to Sacramento. So, I liked what they did at the end of the season last year. Obviously, bringing Darius Acuff in is going to get a lot of excitement. Hopefully, they can start turning it around, but I think it's going to take some time. Number 8 for me, the Colorado Rockies. I mean, have just been in the basement for a really, really long time, and just feels like it's got to be pretty tough to be a Colorado Rockies fan. So I have them at number 8. Number 7 for me, and it's the only college program that I have on here. For me, it was kind of hard to separate just football, just basketball, just whatever. And so I just went with an athletic department as a whole, and it's UCLA. You had the UCLA basketball in there, but you look at all of UCLA sports. I mean, start with probably the one that they don't care as much about, baseball. And I mean, they had the great season. It's a sad ballpark. That ballpark's miserable, Brett. But they had the great regular season, and then they get eliminated in the regionals. Football doesn't even resemble what UCLA football is supposed to be.
Nobody wants to be their home stadium.
No, nobody wants to be their home stadium. Nobody wants to be their coach. I mean,
unbelievably,
it is terrible.
UCLA broke.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. And then basketball, you mentioned it with having them on your list. The fact that UCLA basketball is in the shape that it's in right now is really hard to see. So I have UCLA at number 7. Number 6 for me, it's kind of the same thing as the White Sox, kind of being that younger brother. It's the LA Angels, and I think it's even being made worse with what Shohei Ohtani is doing just across the street with the Dodgers. You had Mike Trout, you had Shohei Ohtani, and you have nothing to show for it. So the Angels, number 6. Number 5, I live it every single day, every single year. The Dallas Cowboys. If I'm being brutally honest, it's miserable being a Dallas Cowboys fan. But hey, we're going to win the Super Bowl this year.
So
we're going to turn things around.
Though, Brian.
It was great.
It's just not this time.
It's not this time, and it really has not been in any part of my lifetime, which has been unfortunate for me. But I have the Cowboys at number 5. Number 4, you had them on your list. The Toronto Maple Leafs, to be the capital of hockey, to be kind of the hockey city in the NHL, and to just have nothing to show for it is really, really sad. Number 3, forget about a team, forget about a certain franchise. The entire city of Buffalo comes in at number 3 for me.
You got 2 days of summer, 4th and 5th of July.
Yeah, and then you watch your sports teams and they really struggle. Even though, we saw the Sabres kind of turn things around this past year, still, it feels like a miserable existence. And then the Bills, like you said, they've done a lot of winning, but how many times? I mean, it's almost like how we've done with Texas A&M, 2 or 3 years ago, where every single year we were coming in here undefeated season for Texas A&M.
Comparison.
This is the year. That's what we do with Buffaloes. They're going to the Super Bowl. This is the year they get over the hump, and then they never do. So I got to go with Buffalo at number 3 for me. Number 2, the Cleveland Browns. Self-explanatory. I don't really need to go much into it. When you have a local shop that just has a jersey set up and they're just using masking tape to cover up the names and go with the new quarterback, that seems like a pretty miserable existence. And number 1 for me, it's number 1 for everybody. I don't think there's an argument. The New York Jets. I mean, we could go on for the rest of the show about how miserable it's got to be a Jets fan. So that's my top 10. I'm pretty happy with it.
So we had 6 of the same.
How about that?
Yeah, I've got a lot of similarities as well. You can go ahead and lock in number 1 and number 2 is Jets and Browns.
Yeah.
That's unanimous all across
league of their own,
board.
aren't they?
They really are. I'm just glad that the Titans didn't make it because I feel like there's a lot of upside going up there. So no Titan mention over here. My number 10, I went with the Arizona Cardinals. I think when you have a
really
program,
good.
Yeah, I think when you have a program that there's just really
bad, but really good.
Right, yeah. So good that it was bad. I think when you have a program where there's just nothing exciting about it, nothing has happened since Larry Fitzgerald. I mean, there's nothing to get behind. You ever known anybody
in your life that was an Arizona Cardinal football fan?
No.
Not at all.
Not outright,
especially in Arizona.
Yeah.
I know some that were big Red fans in St. Louis. Rob Fisher was, but Arizona Cardinals, my football team.
No. You don't hear that. So there's just not a lot there. There's not a lot there worth boasting about. So not really even a fan base there. My number 9, you guys have already gone into depth. I also have the Dolphins there as well. Number 8, Sacramento Kings. You guys have pretty much established why the Kings are pretty miserable. My number 7, I have the Buffalo Bills, just for the outright that they just can't make it. They can get all the way there, but they cannot win the big one, and that's got to be pretty frustrating.
They are the bridesmaid.
They really are. Number 6, sorry Bryant, but the Cowboys. That is pretty miserable to be a part of. Number 5, I'm right there with you, Brett. I'm going with Nebraska football. I think the most exciting thing you've had in the past few years was Dylan Raiola, and even he left and he went to go be a part of Oregon. So
to be a backup
to Dante Moore. The Patrick Mahomes wannabe is now even leaving Nebraska himself. So
they lost their identity in the Big Ten.
They did. They did. They certainly did.
And they would redo firing Frank Solich in a second.
Mm-hmm. And then number 4 for me, me, I'm not the big baseball aficionado, but when I hear how bad the Rockies are year after year after year, that's got to be a pretty miserable fan base to be a part of. Number 3, this was also a little bit of sentimental value for Brett because they can't hurt you anymore. The Maple Leafs, Toronto. I mean, they're going out there. They're going out there hurting too many people, and they just keep doing it. And they're not turning around anytime soon.
I was probably their most Southern fan too.
You absolutely were. You absolutely were.
Look what they did to me.
Yeah. Look what they did to you.
Beat you down.
Never again.
You even renounced them, and then when you renounce a team, that's how you know you're in the dumps. That's how you know.
Local misery index. Anybody got anything that stands out?
Obviously you had them in your list. Neither me or Landon had them in our list, but I
had 2 locals.
You did.
Tennessee and Arkansas.
You definitely did. But I think Arkansas for me stands out.
Arkansas is my local.
A lot. Because certainly football, we could talk a lot, and we do talk a lot about the football program over there at Arkansas. But man, you talk about just every single sport at Arkansas, at least the 3 that we, pay attention to the most. Basketball. I know it's been a couple of Sweet 16s, but how many times we talk about it with John
those
Calipari?
Exits were crushing.
Those rosters, the way that it happens isn't fun. Baseball, the Omaha Hogs, and then just how it ends every single season for them.
It's cruel because it's the last thing to save the year.
Oh yeah, we talk about it all the time of how you get that extended run in baseball. It kind of helps the football program a little bit because all the excitement is on Omaha and on baseball. And when you get knocked out early, it's kind of okay. Time to talk football. Football season starting. So it's bad time for Arkansas.
On Tiger basketball, here's why they are not on my list, and it's more scary than I think any reason out there. Lack of relevancy. I think, how much do people care?
Yeah, man, that's a good question.
Are you miserable?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's
because miserable is caring.
Oh, it definitely is, and we talk about that all the time. Of you want to see people upset, you want to see people voicing their frustrations if they have those frustrations. Because when people just stop talking about it, that's the difference. That's not misery. That's just you don't care anymore. And
that's why this year is big on several fronts.
No, it absolutely is. But it's definitely an interesting time with a lot of the local teams and kind of where they land on the misery index, if you will. But I think we did a great job with these top 10 lists. That was a lot of fun. But we need to go ahead, get to another break, and when we return, we're gonna talk some Major League Baseball. You got one game going on right now, a lot of games coming later tonight, but a lot of news around Major League Baseball. We'll discuss it next on Sports Time.
Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Available locally on your radio dial as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, it's easy to stay tuned to Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Hey, you ready to bang? Bangers Pickleball in South Haven is now open with 10 courts, a restaurant, and 3 bars. New to pickleball? No problem. Take a free Bangers 101 class to learn. Bangers offers a great time for everyone, and there's no membership required. Bangers even has events for you non-pickleballers like mahjong, trivia, whiskey, and wine tasting. Bangers Pickleball has it all. All the rage, all the fun, all for you. Please dink responsibly at Bangers Pickleball, 6787 Snowden Lane, South Haven, Mississippi. Let's bang.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. I wanted to take a minute and discuss advertising with you. There are so many websites that list the best service provider in your area. Even the BBB has an accredited list. You know the one thing they all have in common? A company like mine has to pay to get on that list. So that begs the question, can those lists be trusted? You know what can be trusted? History. We've been around for almost 30 years providing customers with the best service and the best products that we possibly can. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call. We'll come talk to you and let you decide for yourself whether or not we know what we're talking about. Fiveash Roof Services. Best products, best warranties, and in many cases, the best price. We're fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Progressive presents the Museum of You.
We begin our tour with a unique piece, a relic from the early big screen television era. Remarkable. Next, we find a juicer, which historians believe has only ever been used once. And finally, compact discs from the emo era. A rare find indeed.
Some things should be history, but until then, you could protect what's important to you and save by bundling your auto insurance with a renter's policy from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
A lot of Major League baseball news out there today. We got one game going on right now. We talked about it earlier. Toronto's still up 5-0 over San Francisco. Toronto scored all 5 of those runs in the top of the first inning. A lot of action later tonight. Brett, you mentioned Shohei Ohtani with homer number 300 last night, the 7th fastest to reach 300 home runs, doing that last night. It was a loss for the Dodgers against the Colorado Rockies, but he gets that home run and he joins the 300 club.
He does. That club at number 1, the fastest to 300, Aaron Judge. He's going to Cooperstown. Ralph Kiner, too. Most people now remember Ralph Kiner as very popular announcer for the Mets, but he was a great player before that. He's in the Hall of Fame. Ryan Howard, real close for Hall of Fame. You look at his numbers, and I think eventually, maybe not in the next few years, but someday. Number 4, Juan Gonzalez. He should definitely be in someday. But was it steroids around him too?
I think so.
And we know number 5, steroids all around him, and he should already been in. A-Rod. And number 6 ahead of Shohei, Giancarlo Stanton. I think he will be.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too. And we know Shohei's
Alex
going.
Rodriguez should be in the Hall of Fame.
No, he absolutely should. He absolutely should. But no, good for Shohei for getting that. Would have been nice if the team could have gotten him a win with his 300th homer. But
he won't pitch either. He won't start for the National League. So Mizorowski, Skeens, Ohtani already ruled out to pitch at all. Not only not start, to pitch at all next Tuesday night.
Yeah, so that's kind of a bummer when you look at the All-Star game. You talk about some of the All-Star games we've seen before where they're really highlighting these young starting pitchers, and certainly when you talk about the best pitchers in Major League Baseball, you just mentioned a handful of them. And so the fact that we won't see any of those guys, I hate to see that with the All-Star game, but who cares at the end of the day, exhibition game.
Just enjoy it.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be fun to watch. Now the Home Run Derby, as we know,
it won't be any 3-2 counts.
No, definitely
Everybody will be up there wailing.
Oh, absolutely. But now the difference this year, Home Run Derby going to be on Netflix. So if you want to tune in for the Home Run Derby, gotta go over to the Netflix.
Will Jordan Walker be in it?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Would you want him in it?
Not really, but.
He's thrown off swings before.
Seemingly every year, somebody gets thrown off.
Sure does.
With
He gets somebody.
their swing. So I wouldn't be mad. Like if we got the news today that he's going to do it, I wouldn't be mad. But right now, it looks like a good group of guys. Jack Caglione, Junior Caminero, Ben Rice, Wilson Contreras was just named to the Home Run Derby about an hour ago. So
that's a good list.
Already seeing some good names in there, and we'll see.
I'd pay to watch Caglione every night.
Oh yeah, no, he is
Ben Rice as well.
Yeah, no, those are a couple of, all 3 of those guys, Caglione, Caminero, Rice. Those are young guys that are really, now.
I wouldn't for Caminero because I couldn't get across that bridge.
Well, that's true. Yeah, if he was somewhere else, then definitely would pay to go see him play.
Should I
he's
try
incredible.
Getting across that bridge when I'm there for SEC media?
I think
days?
so. I think we need to.
I don't think I should chance it, Bryant.
Well,
I think it's too dangerous.
I think it would be great content. I think we need to get like a GoPro on you or the Meta glasses with the
with the big
camera
head
in there.
contraption.
Yeah, we need to get something on you and just kind of get the view of you trying to cross the bridge.
It's seemingly impossible.
That's what I've heard. I've heard it is just a bear to get over. So yeah, I don't know who will round out the Home Run Derby, but should be a fun event. They're changing the rules this year, kind of going back to what it used to be, but. It's something fun to watch. I won't pay too much attention to it, but
who will be the host of it on Netflix?
I have no idea. I do not know. I'm sure it's been announced. I just I haven't seen it.
That's a key ingredient to that night.
No, you got to make it fun. You got to have somebody that's entertaining and that can kind of carry
I'll say it. I love Chris Berman on it.
Oh yeah, no, it's awesome. I thought he did a great job with it. So I don't know if they're gonna try
every
to
back sounded real when you know it wasn't.
That's right. No. So I don't know who they're gonna have over there for the Home Run Derby, but I'll tune into it just because it's on Netflix and kind of see what it looks like. But I can't tell you I'll have too much interest in it.
I can't remember who it was
there.
hitting, but one night Chris Berman got back, save the backs. It's way gone.
Well, sometimes you just got to tell it how it is. The other big news today, Justin Verlander, he has announced that he will retire at the end of the season.
Retirement life. Though.
Yes, very nice. Very nice. So, he's just kind of playing out the strings. He's out right now with an injury. But yeah, he's not going to be worried about anything post baseball. He's kind of set up. But we got to get to another break. When we return, we're going to switch gears. We're going to talk some golf. John Goen from Timber Trust. He joins us next.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Hi, I'm Ryan Saharovich, a proud partner with NST Injury Attorneys. For over 35 years, we've been fighting for Memphis families after serious accidents when insurance companies are trying to pay as little as possible. If you've been injured, the call is free, and you don't pay unless we win.
NST is the way to go. Call 683-70. They've got the fight.
NST is the way to go. Call 683-7000 or visit nstlaw.com.
Huey's has been serving the Memphis community since 1970. In this local, family-owned restaurant, you'll find a casual setting and laid-back atmosphere, where entertainment includes writing on graffiti walls and listening to live music every Sunday. Huey's has been voted best burger in Memphis every year since 1984, and most kid-friendly for more than 30 years. With 10 locations across Memphis and North Mississippi, there's sure to be a Huey's close by. Huey's Restaurants, blues, brews, and burgers for over 55 years.
Rebel Nation, get the latest on everything Ole Miss sports with the Cannon Motors of Mississippi Rebel Yell Hotline. Join Rebel insiders Chuck Rounsville, Yancey Porter, and Gary Darby Monday nights at 6 as they break down the latest with the Rebels, along with even more insight from special guests. Rebel Yell Hotline, Mondays at 6 p.m. on WHBQ.
Stay up to date with everything going on in Ole Miss athletics with Rebel Yell Hotline every Monday night from 6 to 7 on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. It's starting to build even more now through Midtown on 240 southbound at South Parkway. It's also increased with that volume 40 east at Warford, Hollywood, as that traffic builds around the 101 connector. Still moving right now, trying to get south of Memphis. Just watch for radar down through there on 55 through certain parts of DeSoto County. Don't let a slipping transmission make things worse on your car or truck. Having transmission problems? Come to Amco Transmissions today. 2 locations to help you here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you as we start our second hour on this Wednesday afternoon. We've got to talk some golf, and we do it at this time every single week with John Goen. John, thanks so much for joining us. Plenty to get into. Hopefully we don't have anything happen like we did last week when you
I'm waiting for the first power outage here, fellas.
I think you were the bad luck.
Now.
I don't want to blame anybody, but I'm just
Listen,
saying. It didn't start till you were with us.
The guest is never the bad luck, Brian.
Never.
Just remember that. Never.
The guest is always right. Isn't that right, John?
That's what they say. That's what they say.
John, it looks like a thunderstorm has been just north of you, just south of Collierville all afternoon.
Huh.
Yeah, it kind of popped up on us yesterday, and then I was kind of waiting a little bit today to see kind of what was going to happen. And we had one blow up just to our south, and we dodged that one. And then, it's kind of just been nothing, kind of the rest of the day. A little bit of cloud cover here and there. We've heard a couple of, rumblings of thunder, but, at the end of the day, nothing too crazy as of yet.
But you can get an inch pretty fast this time of year, or nothing.
We got 1.8 yesterday in 45 minutes.
Holy cow.
Yeah. And you never want that.
No. But, the water ran off, and we were actually off the cart path except about 3 holes today. So I will take that in a heartbeat.
Are you getting close to peak green season? And if not, when is it? When do you think you have the greens the best?
Well, you always have the greens the best right before aerification, which literally happened this week. So, it's, we get it primed up and ready to go. And then we punch a bunch of holes in them, and it aggravates the hell out of everybody, and away we go. That's kind of the way that whole thing works out in our world.
It's just part of it.
Yep. But look, we'll bounce back awfully quick from that. I would think within a week or so, we're back. We were, I don't know, I was probably. Before aerification, I stimped a couple of times here and there, which I don't normally do. We were in the mid-12s, which is pretty good.
It's plenty.
Yeah. I think, I was telling somebody today, I said, look, at the end of the day, if I can get green speeds faster, and everybody talks about how much they love fast greens, but it also leads to a lot slower rounds of golf because, you might like fast greens, but at the end of the day, when you've got more 3 and 4 putts than you're accustomed to, then that tends to create some challenges, to say the least.
And I just forgot to bring it up last week talking about Hartford the weekend before. Hartford has one of those classic go for it par 4 holes. We've talked about it, number 3 at Augusta. I like it. I kind of want to see 15 at TPC Southwind become that. Here's what I think for weekend golfers, weekend players, wherever, public or private, wherever, that really slows things down. The ultra fast greens, big greens, and 200-yard or 185-yard plus par 3s. We don't need any of those 3. We need little greens. We don't need them. We don't need them fast as a driveway, and we don't need any par 3 over about 150 yards.
Yeah, no, from that perspective, most definitely. People hitting mid irons into greens and stuff like that. We don't need 200 plus yard par 3s for your day in day out golfer. So, at the end of the day, I agree wholeheartedly with that. There's a few holes down here, especially on the front 9. Number 5 is definitely for some of the players drivable. 6, you can get down there, and realistically, you've had guys drive the green on 6 if the wind flips out of the north in the summertime. So you got a couple, and then, the par fives down here are extremely gettable from the standpoint of, 460, 70, as far as length goes. So, again, I think for your average golfer, it allows them to be able to get home in 3 and make birdie. And for the better players, you can get home in 2 and have shots at eagle. The toughest stretch here is, probably 12 and 13 from that standpoint, because 12's got the creek that runs through the middle of the hole, and then 13's a pretty slight dog leg to the left, but it borders right up against Olive Branch Country Club, and you got pine trees down the left-hand side. You kind of go back to back there a little bit.
Great hole.
Yeah, and then you get 15's another good, par 4 there, and then 17 and 18 back to back. 17's a really good par 3. The wind's always across you there. That green runs, against it. It just doesn't suit my eye very well. I don't hit 17 green all that much. And then, of course, 18, I still think, and I think we probably brought this up in the past, 18 has the possibility of being maybe, in public golf around here, up there as far as finishing holes go. You got to hit it, then hit it across the pond right there and everything to an uphill location. So, I think 18's a really good finishing hole on this golf course.
It is. Do you ever get any friendly fire from that hole real close to OB Country Club?
No, but we try to send it that way. It is up the right-hand side, so they're much more in play than we are for guys who like to maybe overhook a golf ball. So,
and this weekend watching the Scottish Open, can't you get friendly fire from Muirfield Village from there?
Oh, I mean, look, you can get all sorts of friendly fire from any place for the most part. I tell you, I mean, it's definitely interesting to say the least. So,
yeah. And you saw, and at Shinnecock you saw the National right there close to it, and at Augusta National, Augusta Country Club right there.
They'll get you on 13 tee box.
Sure can. The year Fred Couples won, he almost took one to the dome looking for a ball down the left side of 13.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, how that would have changed the course of history. John, another debate I had with a friend for the weekend player, like that makes up the great percentage of people that play golf. The weekend player play 45, 50 times a year, double-digit handicap. I said to him, nobody should be carrying anything larger than a 6-iron. And around the green, if you don't really know how to chip, instead of trying to chip with sand wedge or wedge, try to chip with one of those hybrid clubs. Practice it and try that. Was I right or wrong?
Well, I mean, I think a lot of people are going away from longer irons in general and gravitating toward hybrids anyhow. I think that's kind of the standard move for a lot of players nowadays. So I would probably tend to agree with that statement. And as far as chipping around the green, yeah, I mean, less loft always is good. I think if you can learn to do less loft, though, with being more like pitching wedge 9-iron, because you're still going to be able to get the ball up in the air enough to kind of cover the collar from that standpoint. But, other than that, it's definitely not like 60-degree wedge for chipping, things along those lines, just because I think a lot of people nowadays like to try to fly the ball to the hole and then try to stop it. Well, I mean, your average golfer isn't going to have the ability to be able to do that, whether they're not playing the right golf ball, whether, multiple things, I guess, from that standpoint. So, as you always heard growing up, I mean, Ken Ventura used to say it. I mean, if you can putt, putt. If you can't putt, chip. And if you can't chip, then you're ultimately pitching. That's, so hitting the ball high in the air is of absolute last resort from that perspective.
Talking to John Goen, he joins us every single week, talk some golf. We'll make our picks here in a couple of minutes. But Chris Goddard, he got the win over the weekend. That's now 3 wins this season, 5 top 10s, 10 top 25s in 17 events this season. He's had a really nice year.
Yeah, he has. I think I picked him a couple of weeks ago and he played terribly. So, I'm really happy for him right now.
That's the only bad pick you've had all year, John. You don't need to be that kind of winner.
But, look, I think like we felt, Chris won the Scottish Open last year, kind of came out of nowhere. So he'll be defending this week. So I think from his perspective, he's promising. Now, can he break through from the standpoint of, being in contention at majors and things along those lines? Don't really know. I think it'll be interesting to kind of see how that, kind of works out from his perspective. But yeah, good win for him. I think he's a good champion for the John Deere event. And it gives him momentum going into this week as he gets ready to defend for the first time.
John, you've done the Scotland golf thing. Is it really all that to golfers? Everyone I know that's done it just come back. Life changed from a golf perspective from doing it.
Yeah, no, it is. We were extremely fortunate. We went over in August, and the weather. I think we played 9 holes in a light rain at the end of the day. But to be able to go see St. Andrews, to go play Kings Barnes, to go play at Glen Eagles and see that hotel and the countryside and everything from that standpoint. It's just incredible. Plus, leaving Memphis in August when it's 90 something with 100 and whatever heat index and you're going over there and wearing your jumper and trying to make sure that you've got either enough layers on or whatever that time of year, hoping that you'll be able to play in a short sleeve shirt at some point through the course of the day, is a nice experience. So
all walking, no buggy.
We played one course, the Dukes course there, and we did take buggies there, but everything else outside of that was walking.
Interesting. Obviously, talking about it over there in Scotland, and then we'll get another major. But John Rahm earlier this week, he kind of was defending Liv and talked about how kind of all in he is on the Liv Tour right now. What did you make of some of his comments the other day?
Well, I think everybody's trying to leverage things right now, right?
They are.
I think it's another
playing hard to
piece. Get. Sure. Well, and look, they left for a certain reason, and they need to feel like that they've got some leverage, because the tour is going to hold its ground right now, right? Tiger and everybody from a PGA Tour perspective is going to kind of dig their heels in and kind of do what they are going to do. So, those guys, we've talked about it with Bryson, and Bryson feeling like that he could, start his own thing and put it on YouTube and figure out a way to play with a bunch of guys week in and week out there. Again, I think that they're, I'm not saying that they're going to go down swinging, but they're going to go down and defend what they've been doing, because everybody's questioned their move since they left. And they want to make sure that they're going to at least be able to defend their actions. And they've been, like I said, criticized for taking the money and all these other things. So I think in some way, shape, or fashion, they've got to come out and kind of defend a little bit of what they're doing.
This morning, in just a few hours, at 1 o'clock Memphis time, 1 a.m. Memphis time, There'll be golf balls in there at the Renaissance Club. Brian, you're going to live tweet it, aren't you?
Well, Brett, actually, it's got to be an early night for me. I've got an early tea time down at John's course tomorrow morning, so I've got.
Look out! What a great segue!
Yeah, I gotta be in bed early tonight. I gotta be a good boy tonight.
Now, Brian, in keeping with the Scotland way, you're going to go no buggy tomorrow and walk.
No,
right?
I'm absolutely going to be in a buggy because I'm going to need it. I'm going to be all over the place tomorrow, I'm afraid.
What's our tea time in the morning?
7:50 tomorrow morning.
Yikes.
So that's very early for me. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out.
Well,
I'll make sure we do something really special for you in the morning. I'm sure either greens wise or something. We'll make sure to help you out in some diabolical fashion.
You need a ceremonial starter out there, like for the starters at Augusta.
We'll just imagine it's COVID again. You can be down here in the morning. You can
not at 7:50. No, we can't imagine that. No.
Well, hold on. We were just giving him grace for how early the time is. Now you're not going to even want to be a part of this.
Well, I think the less people that see my golf game, the better. So
I'll let y'all participate, and y'all tell me all about it. Okay?
No, we'll definitely let you know. I'm sure.
All right, Brian, you're on the tee for this one. Now, are we just going standard money?
Yeah, I mean, you are the
dealer choice, John.
There's a good field this week.
Great
We
field.
should just do standard Monday.
This is a great field.
Okay, so we'll go regular money. I guess I'll start us off. Give me Ludwig. Let's take a shot at Ludwig.
I thought you might, and that leaves me.
Yeah, I know where you're going.
Automatic. Scotty Scheffler.
Great pick.
Thank you, Landon. And the sincerity was overwhelming.
Everybody knew that was going to be, nice early. That pick, good old Scotty.
Old Scotty. Back to the well.
All right, Landon.
Especially aerated degree.
Man, this is I don't know because Rory's been letting me down a lot. I'll go with Xander Schauffele.
Okay. John?
I will go with Matt Fitzpatrick.
Why not? Make some magic, Matt Fitzpatrick.
Jeez. Oh, man. I wasn't ready for my next pick.
What?
You were going to be the shot pick all week.
It's a great point.
The results went out Sunday night.
I mean, these are phenomenal points, gentlemen. I can't really argue with any of them.
You're
right
concentrating
now.
on your own game at 7:50
That's right. Yeah, I'm so worried about how bad
it just has to be 21 and up.
Oh, thank you, Landon.
The great part is because he's not comfortable enough with this, it just allows us to just pile on, which is what we're more than willing to do at this point.
That's right.
And boy, we didn't miss a shot, did we?
No, didn't miss anything at all. I think with my pick, I am going to go. How about we take a stab at Nikolai Højgaard? How about that? One of the Højgaard brothers. The better of the Højgaard brothers, if you're asking me.
I kind of like.
Thank you.
All right, a couple have tried it. Nobody's really ever gotten that much out of him. I'm going to try it because it's over there. Tyrrell Hatton.
Okay. I tried that at the last major. Did not work out for me.
Let's see. I like the foreign route. I'll go Christoph Reiten.
Okay. Kind of liked Reiten this year. All right.
Okay, well, I mean, is it really the foreign route if it's a European event and he's from Europe?
Ooh,
so I will
point.
go the foreign route with an American, and I will pick Patrick Reed.
Where are you from, John?
Pat Reed. Well, but the tournament's
Where's
being
the event
played
at? Where is the event at? It's in Scotland.
It's foreign to us, John.
Look what the golf picks have turned
It's
into.
turned us into animals.
I'm telling you. I mean, I don't even know what we're doing. I mean, your geography is way off.
My geography's
you know that
on
it's a
point.
European event.
I live in
and
the
this guy's
US of A.
Norwegian, for crying out loud. Last time I checked, Norway's in Europe, so it's
right.
it's a home.
It sure
event
is.
for them.
Home court advantage for
Home
them.
game.
And
not
his
us.
mind's going to be on the football.
That's right. No, that's true. That's
is
great.
true.
I didn't think about that with some of these guys.
Right.
Just say it's a
great point.
just say it's a Holland pick.
Maybe some
Great
late night
pick.
for these
Great
guys.
pick.
Yes,
Landon.
great
Really
pick.
good.
Well,
Thank
John,
you. I liked it too.
John, before we let you go, tell us more about Timber Trust, how people can make tee times.
Yeah, absolutely. So no two-man this week, obviously with the aerification of the golf course and everything. So just regular tee times the balance of the week and through the weekend. You can visit us at timbertrustgolf.com or call us at 662-895-3530 to book your tee times for the weekend. You can also follow us at Timber Trust Golf Course on Facebook and Instagram for upcoming events. We do still have some room for the OB Open here in a little over a week. So there are still some spots for that. That is our normal 4-person scramble, and then you'll draw a tour player that makes the cut in the top 20 at the Open Championship. It'll be your scramble score combined, I should say, with the score of your tour player for the day, and then we flight everything at the end. Fortunately, with it being the Open, everything starts early, so this is actually the one major that we should be able to get results done by the end of play that day, so it's always a fun one. But yeah, come on down to North Mississippi here into Olive Branch and come visit.
And you don't make people dress next week with outerwear like they're playing in Scotland, do you? Or at the Open Championship.
Fun aspect to it. You should start doing that, John.
Make everybody wear cashmere and
do I need
turtlenecks
to, do I need to have the emergency unit out here as well when they overheat from?
It's true.
Really
I mean, wear breathable, Gore-Tex apparel or something, but Gore-Tex we all know doesn't really breathe. It helps keep you dry, but I mean, unless you're on some rapid weight loss program potentially too, I don't know. But no, we will not be requiring people to wear.
Good way to pass out.
Exactly.
That is definitely a good way to pass out. Well, John, thanks so much
Thank
as
you, John.
always for joining us. I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning.
I'll be here 5:30. So we'll make sure we'll have the range open for you by 5:30. So come on down.
Yeah, I might need it. It's been a
Just
while
for
since
you, though.
I've,
Just for you.
Yeah, I might need it before that round, but I'll see you then.
All right, fellas. Take care.
See you,
Thank you, John. Brian, I'm so glad you're playing.
Yeah, no, I'm getting out there tomorrow morning. Me,
Love
Connor, one of his buddies, we're going out there bright and early tomorrow.
Scramble, best ball, what format? Just have fun?
I just want to swing a club.
There you go.
It's probably going to be ugly, and
It's
I'm
okay.
probably going to give up on most holes.
You know what you need to do then? Hit and giggle and have a good time.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to try to do. Now, at 7:50 in the morning, I don't know how much giggling is going to be happening, but we'll try to make the best of it.
Hit one until you're comfortable with it.
Yeah, well, that's...
Or at least the people behind you say that's enough.
That's true. That is the thing. But hopefully at that time, hopefully it will be an enjoyable experience. But no, I'm excited. I haven't been out on the golf course in a while, so I
have not hit a single ball this year. Not one. I'm not going to.
Yeah, no, I certainly haven't. But opportunity presented itself, and I'll be out there
Love
tomorrow morning. So I'll live tweet that tomorrow morning. You can follow along with my golf game tomorrow morning.
I want that, and I like your team, the Oberg Hogard team.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, trying to think a little outside the box for this weekend. I need some wins. I'm in dead last, and it's not even close. So whatever you want to call it. I don't want to get into the weeds like you and John did, but
everybody's got a touch of foreign players, though.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be a really, really nice weekend. But always weird when we head over to Europe for these couple weeks, and we're starting in the middle of the night.
Tomorrow morning, when your round's over, they're about done.
They'll be wrapping up for the day, so that definitely makes it
Glad you're playing.
Thank you, Brett. I'm excited.
At
to
a
get out
great
there.
place.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow morning. But let's go ahead and get to another break, and when we return, we got to talk some NBA. We'll do that next on Sports Time.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
The best clubs never stand still. Colonial Country Club has been an iconic part of Memphis golf for generations. And today, a multi-million-dollar reinvention is reshaping its future. Members enjoy championship golf and family-focused amenities including pickleball, tennis, swimming, fitness, dining, and a vibrant club calendar. History matters. So does what comes next. Membership opportunities are now available. Visit thenewcolonial.com to learn how you can be a part of Colonial's next chapter.
For those that watch the stock market, the real estate market also has its watchers, like me, Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark's Bensdorf Realtors. Right now I'm seeing the listing inventory increasing and the contracts and closings not keeping up, which puts us in what is labeled as a buyer's market. That is why it is extremely critical that you obtain the best advice and expertise when you're considering the sale of your home. And that is what I do. To make your home a sweet spot, where buyers are drawn to you like bees to honey, talk to 2 to 3 real estate brokers, but make sure I am one of them. Find out about my highly successful strategic marketing program that can help you sell your home quicker at a better price. Remember what people often say? When you want the job done, call Shell Done. Call me at 483-0546 or email me at memphisrelocate.com. That's right, relocate is in my name. memphisrelocate.com or 483-0546.
Amy Cox did something smart. She saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. And with that money, she decided to treat herself to an anti-aging red light mask. Will she look like a horror movie villain every night? Yes. Will her boyfriend Kevin be scarred for life? That's certainly a risk. But it's Amy's savings, and if she's willing to risk her relationship for smooth, wrinkle-free skin, well, bye-bye, Kevin. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Napa Cafe celebrates 28 years in 2026.
Hi, I'm Glenda Hastings, owner of Napa Cafe, and I want to thank you for making us part of your dining experiences. If you are a first-time guest or have dined with us countless times, I want to thank you for making us part of your lives. Whether you're celebrating with the crowd or planning a cozy date night on the town, Napa Cafe can provide you an extraordinary evening. We have 5 dining rooms, including our private wine cellar, our Jan's room for 2 guests, and the Eleanor room for parties up to 60. Sit back, relax, and celebrate. Leave the cooking to us. Come see me at Napa Cafe, 5101 Sanderlin Avenue. We're open Wednesday through Saturday for dinner starting at 5 o'clock. We also offer curbside pickup from our full menu. For details on our stay-in, dine-out menu or reservations, visit our website at napacafe.com. We can't wait to serve you.
Come join in and celebrate 28 years of Napa Cafe in 2026.
This traffic brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery. Come for the spirits, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. Learn more at olddominick.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Starting to really pick up now around that 101 connector where they've been working over there in that area all week long up and down I-40, especially there around Watkins and also there at Hollywood as it gets heavier here in the last few minutes on 240, especially going eastbound from Mill Branch out to 385 Billmore's Parkway, going outbound into Collierville's moving right now. Bridal season is here. Shop local this weekend at Weimer's Jewelry, 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Back in Sports Time, Bryant and Brett with you, and we gotta talk some NBA as a lot of news around the association, including LeBron James. We're still waiting on LeBron to make his decision about where he will play. Now, I got this notification. I did not see it on Twitter, so I'm assuming Shams Charania said this on television earlier today. But according to Shams Charania, 5 teams now remain in the LeBron James sweepstakes. Those 5 teams are the Cavaliers, the Heat, the 76ers, the Timberwolves, and the Golden State Warriors. If you've been kind of following along, those have kind of been the teams that have been most talked about ever since LeBron James made it public that he would be leaving the Lakers. So, Brett, out of those 5 teams, I know you've talked a lot about the 76ers, but kind of what do you make of LeBron to any of those 5 teams?
Minnesota's 5th.
Yeah, I would say so. I would definitely agree with that.
Philadelphia 1, Cleveland 2. Golden State 2.
Okay.
Cleveland 3. What's the other one? Miami.
Miami. That's the other one. Yeah. I think for me, I still think he's going to be a Warrior. I'd put
nobody willingly takes on a Twin Cities winner.
No.
Nobody.
No. Yeah, I would honestly be shocked if LeBron James.
If you're going to do that, go back home to Cleveland.
Yeah, and so I think for me, I think the top 2 are probably Golden State and Cleveland in some order. The idea of going back home, I do think LeBron would like to do that. Now, if I was a Cavs fan, I get it, it's LeBron. Everyone in Cleveland loves LeBron James, but I'd kind of be like, all right, man, are we really going to do this again? It'd be for him to end his career.
Do you think they really do love him?
I do. I do.
He's left them twice.
He has, and that's what I'm saying. Like, if you go back a third time, I could see some of that turning of, oh man. But he's one of their own.
He delivered one. He delivered their only one.
Yep, he's from the area. He delivered.
Did he
them a
deliver,
title.
or did Draymond Green deliver that title?
Well, it's a great question. I'll say he delivered it. He certainly was great.
He was in the championship parade. That means he won.
Draymond certainly played a role in
Huge
it.
role. Just lost his mind.
He definitely did. But yeah, I still don't really have a good feeling on any of these spots for him.
All right, rank those teams that he propels them to conference finals, not NBA finals, just conference finals.
I think one would be Philadelphia if everybody's healthy. I think two would be Miami. 3 Cleveland, 4 Minnesota, 5 Golden State.
Yeah, he's got to be thinking that way, doesn't he?
I think LeBron James is always kind of thinking of those.
I mean, it's not just the weather or just the way of life. It's got to be. Is this going to be anything to late May basketball?
Absolutely. And so yeah, I mean, I think they're certainly. I would say most of those teams have deep playoff aspirations going into next season, and so I think he certainly makes any of them better.
Who does he make 5 wins better? That's big too.
Yeah, I think a lot of those teams he could do that.
The Wolves.
Yeah, he could certainly. I think LeBron James, I mean, at his age, he's still averaging 20 points a game. I mean, you put any 20-point per game scorer on any team, I think that's about a 5
If nothing else, the other team's got to game plan for him.
Yeah, and I mean, we always talk about LeBron James, the scorer. I mean, what he does as a facilitator. If he needs to be a facilitator, he can do that.
And remember early in his career when it was a legitimate knock of him being too unselfish?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I mean, there's plenty of pictures and videos of him giving up that last shot.
There was a game, first or second year of FedEx Forum, and he's in town and he's the show, and it's the biggest out of town star, bigger than Kobe.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant's right there, but go to the game. And the next day, I said he defers too much, and who's he passing it to that's as good as he is?
Yeah, that's the thing, and I mean, there's been a lot of people that have questioned that.
And that's what I was going to ask you all is which team would benefit the most, and what I mean by benefit the most is, like you said, conference finals and then finals with a player with the IQ of LeBron James that even when you game plan for him, that his IQ
he can break you down.
Beats your game plan.
He can. That's
with
a good
those
point.
and yeah, like placing him with pieces around him that he knows how to make better. Because the whole LeBron never made his teammates better shtick. I'd never.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
I'd never understood that. I never agree with that. But yeah, which of the 5 teams left does he make everybody else's?
You can cherry pick a lot of things. Look, when a guy has been in the public limelight since he was 13 or 14 and lived up to it. Very, very similar to Tiger. I mean, we heard about Tiger from way back. He lived up to every bit of it. We heard about LeBron from way back, every bit of it. There's plenty to dissect. There's plenty of quotes. There's plenty of stances. There's plenty of things if you want to get mad at him about. But if you want to pick at basketball very much, no way.
No.
Wrong tree.
No, and I still think even at his age, he can help any of these teams, and make them better. And so, yeah, I'll be really curious. I think now's the question.
Golden State's the hardest one to make better.
Yeah,
that 5.
I think it would be the question then of then if they do wrap up LeBron James, then can they make a trade happen with Washington to get Anthony Davis? The question's always with him of availability and health, and then what do those other guys at Golden State? Steph Curry and Draymond. How do they look with another season? Because we've certainly seen it's coming to an end at Golden State. Can he do enough? Can that group have kind of one
and
last
they don't
run
want
in
it
them?
to, and I don't blame them.
No,
and they're hanging on with the last clutches of it.
No, they definitely are. And so, if you kind of build this super team, can that be that one last push of making a somewhat of a deep run? The problem is, in the West, and that's why when I was ranking those teams of kind of who propels them, it was mainly the Eastern Conference teams at the top of it, because no matter who you have on your team, I think it's going to be really, really hard to get past both OKC and San Antonio.
What star of those 5 teams? All right, the 5 teams. Golden State, we know the stars, Steph Curry.
Mm-hmm.
Philadelphia, it's Joel Embiid. Mm-hmm. Miami, it's going to be Giannis.
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota, it is Anthony Edwards.
Yep.
And with Cleveland, it is Donovan Mitchell.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Who does he best interact with, or maybe worst interact with the biggest star? Because they have to coexist.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I don't think he coexists with Donovan Mitchell well. I don't see that.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Yeah.
Especially
a lot
if
of ball-dependent players already there,
right.
Jerry. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's a good question. I really don't
Giannis
know.
could get along with anybody.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely could. Kind of first thing that comes to mind is maybe not even don't get along well or don't, connect well. I would love to kind of be a fly on the wall if he did land in Minnesota to see his day in, day out interactions with Anthony Edwards and LaMelo Ball. I mean, those two guys, how young they are, how kind of interesting, I guess I'll just leave it at that, those two are. Whew, that would be some interesting interactions.
I have a friend from college who's one of my best friends. He said the same thing, and he said like it'll be like an uncle getting tired of his nephew. But a lot of people don't understand it, or a lot of people forget, not understand. A lot of people forget. LeBron James is goofy.
Yeah,
LeBron James is a locker room
fun-loving guy.
Remember the Harlem Shake and all of that. LeBron James is, I've been saying for years he flopped so well because after his NBA career he gonna go into movies and stuff like that. But he likes that type of stuff.
Nobody's ever said he was a bad teammate.
No.
Right, exactly.
And that's why I kind of said I'd be the most interested in it, because I think that they would get along fine. It's just I would love to see those interactions because I think they would be hilarious, and it would be very interesting to see him interact with those guys. So yeah,
you're going to have younger players on every one of those teams wherever he ends up across the league.
Sure.
Do I go over and ask him to sign anything for me? I mean, they're going to be in awe of him.
Well, that's
they're
the
going
thing.
to look across that first practice court and go, man, there he is.
Well, you watch the the draft every year. They have these kind of pre-draft media days and stuff like that, and you always have the one kind of social media team outlet brand that goes and kind of asks the quote unquote fun questions, and one of them always is who's the one player you're excited to play? Every single player is like, I can't wait to get on the court and play against LeBron James or play with LeBron James or whatever it is. So no, it's
they can't wait for him to know who they are.
Yeah, no, that's definitely the truth. And so I mean, what was it? I think it was Zaire when he was a rookie here, and the first time Memphis played LeBron, he went up to him and was like, yeah, I mean, they were hugging before the game because Bronny and Zaire were teammates in high school. And it's and he was talking before of yeah, can't wait to see LeBron and all that stuff. So, it's interesting because, him still playing at his age, you're right. A lot of these guys that are coming into the league, I mean, they grew up with LeBron James posters on their wall. And so, it's one of those things.
And it cuts both ways. You can almost be too deferential, in a game. Do I make the right pass to him, or do I take over?
Yeah.
And it's two superstars. It's famous story, 1951 World Series. Brian, yeah, I brought it all the way back to that. In center field for the New York Yankees, Joe DiMaggio, the Yankee Clipper. In right field, the next big thing, Mickey Mantle, and it was clearly Mantle's ball to catch in right field. His natural position was center. But he wasn't going to start over Joe DiMaggio in center field. At the end for DiMaggio, he defers on a pretty much routine pop-up. It's his ball, but he defers, hangs a spike in a storm drain, out in the outfield. I think, not at Yankee Stadium, I think at the Polo Grounds, shreds his knee that really haunted him the rest of his career, deferring to Joltin' Joe.
You bring up an excellent question. I mean, yeah, with that point. And this is why I say that it wouldn't work in Cleveland, because I feel like Donovan Mitchell, this is why it wouldn't work. This is why it wouldn't work in Minnesota. because Donovan Mitchell and Anthony Edwards are on both sides of the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
Donovan Mitchell is that player that's going to defer to LeBron. I mean, we've seen it a little bit with having James Harden. It's like, okay, I'm going to go give it to James Harden. I literally just seen the clip when he was close to the rim to lay the ball up, and he passed it out, and they were like, why would he pass it? He would do that having LeBron on his team, and it could cost in certain games.
Yeah.
And on that other end of the spectrum, Anthony Edwards, we know the type of guy Anthony Edwards is. Been playing against LeBron and beating him in playoff series and things of that nature. I feel like it's going to be a couple of games where he'd be like, no, this is the Timberwolves. This is my team. I'm taking the shot, or and when it needs to be, when it needs to be somebody else's night or something like that, or if it needs to be LeBron's night. And then that wouldn't help, especially with having LaMelo as well.
Yeah, I was about to say, those three on the same team, I could see a lot of issues
Poor
there.
Chris Finch.
Yeah, oh man, that would be something. I need them. That's
There'll be a point for all those coaches. They won't voice it, but they'll be thinking, I signed up for this.
Yeah, no, that's the team. If that ultimately happened, that's the team I want. Like some sort of Hard Knocks type docu-series throughout the year.
We'll
I
get
just want
the
all
beat
that.
machine ready for Anthony Edwards.
Oh yeah, no kidding. You got to always have that ready for him.
You can't put him on FCC, can you?
No, absolutely not. He slips up every time he's in front of a mic.
Yeah, he sure does. I've missed on the timing. I would have thought we already had an announcement. So when?
I don't know.
Give me your guesses.
I have no clue.
I think we get it by tomorrow.
Really?
I said it earlier in the
really?
week. I really feel like he's not going to drag it out too much longer.
I hope
It's
you're right.
We get it now. It's almost the second week of
you can take the high?
I've always said that I think he's going to let this go into at least a couple days in Summer League. I think he'll be front and center out there, kind of, courtside and soaking up all the attention. If he's there, all the games are going to get the camera on him. The big decision coming up with LeBron James. So I could see it maybe, some point this weekend into early next week. I don't know.
When do they go to Vegas?
Tomorrow. First day of Vegas tomorrow.
Exactly.
So, yeah, you could be right.
Be at Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe this time tomorrow, this hour of our show brought to you every day by the great people at Landers Ford in Collierville. They will be with us at SEC Media Days and out at the FedEx St. Jude Championship, like always. The number one Ford dealership in the Mid-South. Landers Ford, your trusted destination for a vehicle that fits any lifestyle and a price point for everyone, with that seamless shopping experience, from vehicle choice to financing to service, from the Ford Escape to the rugged F-150 to the adventurous Bronco. Every vehicle built with those Ford tough standards. The Ford F-150, America's best-selling truck. SUVs like the Ford Escape, the Ford Expedition, Ford Broncos, Ford Explorers. They have the EVs. They have the hybrids. The transparency. What you see is what you get. Everything right there in big, bold letter. Nothing hidden. Professionalism with your sales rep, long-term support, and long-term friendship with that sales rep and everyone at Landers Ford in Collierville. Oil changes, tires rotated, anything service-related. Go online, schedule when it suits you the best. It'll be done quickly to meet your busy schedule. Landers Ford, active in our community, flying that America 250 flag so very proudly. In Collierville at 2082 West Poplar Avenue, or online at LandersFordMemphis.com. If it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
Well, Brett, I don't want to say too much. I will just be as simple as I can. Might be a good time to turn on the San Francisco game if you don't already have it on. I'll leave it at that. We've got to get to a break. When we come back, it will be time for Big Number of the Day.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Unlock your new go-to spot, Codes Dispensary in Steele, Missouri, just over an hour from Memphis. When you're ready for a legal, reliable option, they're right up the road. Explore the full menu of top-shelf products in-store and online. Short on time? Order ahead and cruise through the drive-thru for a quick pickup. Stack rewards while you stock up with Club Codes. Earn points for every dollar spent. Codes Dispensary, now open in Steele, Missouri. Supreme cannabis that's worth the drive. Learn more at CodesDispensary.com. That's CodesDispensary.com.
Chris Price here with Metro Builders Roofing and Restoration. We've seen days, even what seems like weeks of soaking rain, damaging hail, and even flooding. So today, do one simple thing. Look up. If you see a water stain, bubbling paint, or discoloration on your ceiling, don't ignore it. What starts as a small roof leak can quickly become mold, turning a minor problem into a major expense. At Metro Builders Memphis, our professionals will inspect your roof, assess any storm damage, help mitigate further damage. We'll measure your roof from outer space and guide you through the repair or replacement process with an estimate on site with multiple options at that. Don't let them tell you your roof needs to be replaced when all it may need is some love. We'll give you an honest assessment so you can make the right decision for your home and family. At Metro Builders Memphis, call me, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717, or simply book your appointment online at metrobuildersmemphis.com.
After a car accident, it's easy to feel overwhelmed. Insurance decisions happen early. That's why one call can change everything. For over 35 years, we've won billions protecting injured people. Give us a call today. We'll review your case at no cost. NST is the way to go. Call 683-7000.
Your home is your best investment, so why not make it the best it can be with help from Gates Lumber? Start with your front door, serving two purposes, curb appeal and security. Gates has solid construction doors built for security, durability, and beauty. See and compare wood, steel, and fiberglass options side by side at Gates Showroom. It's easier to choose when you can see and touch real doors with real assistance from knowledgeable staff helping you choose the right door for your home and budget. So don't just replace your door, upgrade your protection, and Gates Lumber is the right choice. Family owned and operated, serving you for over 100 years with free estimates, free delivery, competitive prices, and quality products. Call 901-942-3201, go to gateslumber.com, or come by their showroom, 1253 South Bellevue Boulevard. Gates Lumber, celebrating over 100 years with a passion for craftsmanship since 1920.
It's true. East Memphis Ace Hardware is closing. But just like always, they're taking care of you with a big going out of business sale. Everything in the store is 30% off. Everything, including the Big Green Egg and all Weber grills. Some things have additional savings, like Amy Howard paint at 75% off. Come in and save like it's goodbye, because it is. Save at least 30% on everything in the store. East Memphis Ace Hardware, corner of White Station and Quince, going out of business.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
And she says, I wish that I could be like the cool kids, 'cause all the cool kids, they seem to fit in. I wish that I could be like the cool kids, like the cool
Well, Brett, my big number today, it does come from Major League Baseball, but it's not what's going on right now. I'm just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to say anything more. It has nothing to do with the game that's going on right now. But my big number is the number 4. Last night, we saw A.J. Ewing play for the Mets, and in that game last night, he went 4 for 4, 4 or more runs scored, 1 home run, and at least 1 stolen base. In the history of Major League Baseball, going all the way back to the modern era, since 1900, only 2 Major League Baseball players have ever done that. Again, 4 for 4 or better, 4 or more runs scored, 1 or more home runs, and 1 or more stolen bases in a game. Those 2 players, Joe Morgan for the Astros on July 8th, 1965, and A.J. Ewing for the Mets last night. Have yourself a night, A.J. Ewing.
Joe Morgan back to the Astros.
How about that? That's going all the way back.
Right after they were the Colt 45s before they moved into the Dome.
It's wild.
Wow. My big number is 43. It's a percentage. 43%. That's Coach Prime's winning percentage as head coach of the Colorado Buffaloes. He's 16-21. He's 9-18 in Big 12 play. That's 33%. After the 3-0 start, beat the TCU in that first game when they had just played for the national championship, and then they start the 3-0. What's been his best win since then? Texas Tech 2 years ago.
Probably, but it's been few and far between.
3-9 last
year. Yeah, that was really bad. That was really bad. And I mean, that kind of led into what has been a very quiet offseason for Deion and for Colorado.
Well, it was health-related offseason, and that's been good news. But now with health figured out, he's got to win.
Sure, but I'm not talking about anything health-related. I'm just, every single year he's been a head coach, whether it was at Jackson State or at Colorado, he has been in the headlines
to good health. That's
about what his team's going to do, the type of players on there. He's been out there making noise about his team, and this year has been the first year we haven't said a single word about him. And now, it's great that we're not talking about anything health-related, because that was really scary last year when we got those health updates from him. But just talking about the football sense, it doesn't feel like there's any attention on this Colorado team. A big part of that is the way the last year played out.
And we have seen it forever in younger youth sports. This is not a shot. It's just a fact. We've seen it forever in Little League and in across youth sports, that dad, when he's not coaching his sons, he's not near as interested.
Yeah, no, it's a really good point. And so, we've talked a lot about, once, his sons wrapped up their career at Colorado, how long would he stay at Colorado? Would he continue being a head coach, or would he say, look, I'm Deion Sanders, I've got enough money, I've got enough things that I can do with my free time, I don't need to be coaching college football. But on the same flip side of that, we talk about a lot of these former professional athletes, a lot of these coaches, when they set their mind to, I'm going to do this, they don't take failure as a result. And so you see, sometimes they try to go until they can get it done. I feel like Deion would be a little more of, I don't need this, I don't have to do this, I'm okay with everything else in my life. But I think this year could play a huge role into if he does ultimately make that type of decision.
Up to now, it has been worth hiring him, hadn't it?
Absolutely.
You
no
do it
question
over
about it.
again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I would too.
Definitely.
Up to now.
Yes.
This year could make you think differently.
No, it really could.
I mean, 2-10 or get off to a bad start in the middle of the year.
No, definitely.
He steps away, anything like that.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's...
Opening night at Georgia Tech, week 2, home against Weber State. Week 3 at Northwestern, week 4 at Baylor. Texas Tech, October 3rd at home. Utah at home, October 17th. At Oklahoma State, October 24th. Halloween, home against K-State. November 7th at Arizona State. November 14th, home against Houston. November 21st at Cincinnati. November 28th, Thanksgiving weekend, home against UCF. And our next guest at 5 o'clock, Matt Murschel, will be in Boulder that day. Matt Murschel may be there, Prime may not.
Yeah, I mean, that is, it's a good question. And, I've obviously with Big 12 Media Days going on these last couple of days, I've looked at a lot of these schedules for these Big 12 teams, and it just feels like a lot of these schedules really, really tough. And I think that's a reflection of the Big 12 and kind of how wide open it feels
hard to figure.
For the entire conference. It feels like there's some good teams. It doesn't feel like there are many great teams in the conference, but, when you have a lot of just kind of good teams, it makes for really, really interesting conference play. And so, yeah, I mean, you look at this Colorado schedule, I mean, what does Baylor look like this year? I mean, you could be looking at a really tough stretch of at Baylor, then back-to-back home games against Texas Tech, Utah, and then at Oklahoma State, which a lot of people kind of calling Oklahoma State that sneaky team to keep an eye on in the Big 12. So that feels like a really, really important stretch for this Colorado team this year if they want to have any sort of a successful year.
The Big 12, the other team with the SEC and the deal with the Liberty Bowl, I don't think the Liberty Bowl will get a SEC team this year because I think they'll have a lot of playoff teams, and you'll be in the same thing. You'll be out of teams. How about this Liberty Bowl? Colorado and Deion Sanders against the hometown team.
Yeah, I think that'd be great. I think that'd be great on a lot of different levels. I think that would be great. Obviously, Deion coming back to Memphis. Spent a good amount of time here when he was at Jackson State recruiting.
Did a number on the Southern Heritage Classic.
Sure did. But played in that game a couple times, recruited the area a lot, and you just take the other look at it. Memphis has a lot of former Colorado players on their roster this year. Their general manager is from Colorado, so definitely a lot of ties in in there that would make that a really interesting game, I think. I'd sign up for that, absolutely. It'd be a lot of fun. So Colorado, we'll certainly talk more about them in our next segment, but they're going to be an interesting team to keep an eye on. And like Brett said, that first game against Georgia Tech, on the road against Georgia Tech, feels like a really, really big one.
Coaching mismatch.
No, it feels like it's going to be it could set the tone for the season for both those teams. But you might have heard it. It is true. East Memphis Ace Hardware is closing. But just like always, they're taking care of you with a big going out of business sale. Everything in the store is 30% off. Yes, you heard that right. Everything. That's including the Big Green Egg, all Weber grills. Some things have additional savings, like Amy Howard paint at 75% off. You're not going to find a better deal than that. So come in and save like it's goodbye, because unfortunately it is. Save at least 30% on everything in the store. East Memphis Ace Hardware, corner of White Station and Quince, going out of business sale. Make sure you head out there. Like I said, 30% off, 75% off on some things. You're not going to find a better deal than that. With summertime, perfect opportunity to go out there and get that Big Green Egg. So make sure you head out there to East Memphis Ace Hardware. Well, we need to get to another break, and when we return, we're going to talk more Big 12. Matt Murschel from the Orlando Sentinel. He joins us next.
Be sure to download our Hub 901 app for instant access to Sports 56 and all the Flynn broadcasting stations from anywhere. Go to the App Store and get the Hub 901 app today.
Hello, I'm Ford Canale of Canale Funeral Directors. For more than a century, the Canale family has been honored to serve Memphis families during life's most difficult moments. In fact, Canale Funeral Directors is proud to be the oldest continually operating business in Memphis, built on a tradition of compassion, dignity, and personal service. When a family places their trust in us, we understand it's about much more than arrangements. It's about celebrating a life, honoring cherished memories, and providing comfort when it's needed most. Whether you're planning ahead or facing an immediate need, our experienced and caring staff is here to guide you every step of the way. From our family to yours, thank you for allowing us to serve generations of Memphis families with the respect and attention they deserve. Canale Funeral Directors, quietly caring since 1843.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Annie's first oil change wasn't as hard as she thought, because she went to AutoZone, where a friendly AutoZoner helped her find the right oil and save on an oil filter. He explained the job and showed her free how-tos on AutoZone.com. When she was done, AutoZone recycled her old oil for free. Get a free oil filter and more during the Celebrate Free event at AutoZone, now through July 27th.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgos. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous?
Brett, there's some things about the Rendezvous I want to talk about. For example, we make it really easy to park. We have valet parking right at Monroe Street in our alley. We also want to make it easy for people to get to-go orders. You can now park in our alley right at our front door and put your flashers on. People also forget that we take reservations for 6 or more. And we have a wonderful party room upstairs that can accommodate people for rehearsal dinners, birthday parties, reunions, graduations. Our rooms seat between 25 and 275 people. And everything at the Rendezvous can be packed to go. Brett, we also do catering. See our menu online, and we can even deliver for groups of 15 or more. So if you have any questions, always feel free to call us at the Rendezvous, because we answer our phone ourselves. You'll never hear, please listen carefully, for our menu has changed. Press 1 for reservations, press 2 for hours, press 3 for catering, or if you know your party's 9-digit extension number and the first 3 letters of their mother's maiden name, dial it now. Come see us at the Rendezvous.
Since 1948, the Rendezvous.
Huey's has been serving the Memphis community since 1970. In this local, family-owned restaurant, you'll find a casual setting and laid-back atmosphere, where entertainment includes writing on graffiti walls and listening to live music every Sunday. Huey's has been voted best burger in Memphis every year since 1984, and most kid-friendly for more than 30 years. With 10 locations across Memphis and North Mississippi, there's sure to be a Huey's close by. Huey's Restaurants, blues, brews, and burgers for over 55 years.
This traffic brought to you by Old Dominick Distillery. Come for the spirits, stay for the experience. Cheers to Memphis. Learn more at olddominick.com.
Good afternoon, T-Dice out here working with a couple of accidents. Just busy where you would expect this time of day, trying to get down through Midtown on 240 southbound at South Parkway. It's heavier than it was 15, 20 minutes ago on Sam Cooper. Certain sections there going outbound, trying to get back up on the interstate there off Sam Cooper. A steady flow of traffic now pushing eastbound on I-40 out into Fayette County here, passing 269. Hey, don't let the slipping transmission make things worse on your car or truck. Having transmission problems, it's okay. Come to Amco Transmissions, 2 locations here in Memphis. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis with John Harden. Weekdays from 11 to 1. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet at 7450 Highway 64 in Bartlett. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Come with me now. Come with me now.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you as we start our third and final hour on this Wednesday afternoon. We've talked a lot about it over these last 2 days, but Big 12 Media Days, they wrapped up earlier this afternoon. And joining us now to talk about everything that's happened over the last 2 days, to talk about this Big 12 Conference and UCF, Matt Murschel from the Orlando Sentinel. He joins us now. Matt, thanks so much for joining us. A ton to get into with the Big 12 Conference. But for you, what was your biggest takeaway or takeaways of what you heard from the commissioner, from all the teams over the last 2 days?
Well, I think what we heard over the last couple of days is that, Commissioner Brett Yormark is definitely wanting to make sure that, that everyone sees the idea that this conference is still very much on the same page, is very much together. With everything that happened over the last few months with the Brendan Sorsby case, and the reaction from Texas Tech's side of things. And, I think he wanted to make sure that, at least outwardly, that this conference was still in it together. These 16-member schools were trying to work towards, obviously making themselves, more viable over the next few years, especially with the new media rights deal coming up in 2030. That's the message I kind of took from that. Now, whether obviously there were going to be lots of questions about Sorsby, that he wasn't really willing to get into and to talk about publicly. There were a lot of questions about from Texas Tech side of things about, whether they felt like they were kind of being punished unfairly by the league. But still, I think the league wants to come out with this idea that they're a very strong group. This is something that's fractured, like let's say it was maybe 10 or 12 years ago when this group was, Texas and Oklahoma were trying to get out. So that's the message I generally took this week, this last couple of days from the media day.
Matt, you see Yormark really out there just fighting almost with a whip and a chair just to try to keep the Big 12 relevant, and he has. Basketball usually speaks for itself, but even in football, and some talking about maybe 2 teams in a playoff. I want to go back into the offer that we widely reported that we know that was made by Memphis to the Big 12. We see the jersey patch. We see Monster. We see them everybody's trying to monetize everything. It was $250 million, and in the out years, it would have approached $500 million, and they flatly turned Memphis down. Do you think any regret from the league for that, and if ever a do-over for Memphis?
I'm not sure. I mean, that would be something that, Brett Yormark would have to answer himself and probably some of the presidents on the board of trustees, for that matter, and whether they obviously there wasn't enough of a move at that moment to decide to make that. I think some of that, we talked about expansion over the years with Brett about, adding different, schools, adding more schools, try to continually add value to the league. He just never, as much as he said they would look at it, there was never much interest, outside of possibly adding Gonzaga. I think it was a few years ago, for the basketball side of things. But, maybe now when you look at the figures and the money and everything like that, but also too, I think maybe there was a little bit of a uneasiness with the idea of taking money from a school to basically buy its way into a conference. Maybe he felt like that was not something they wanted to go down that road. Even though SMU basically essentially did that, with the ACC, they got their way into the ACC that way. So, I think, listen, I think Yormark's been a very forward-thinking type commissioner.
We do too.
Trying to at least come up with a lot of ideas. You mentioned the deal with Monster. You mentioned the patches. You mentioned, the logos on the the football fields and the courts. I think he's willing to do anything he can to try to generate as much revenue as they possibly can for this league. They know they're in a constant battle with the ACC for third place right now. They're never going to be able to catch the SEC. They're never going to be able to catch the Big Ten when it comes to media revenue rights. So I think for them, it's trying to figure out what's the best thing that helps make their member schools feel like they're getting the most for their value. The one thing I will say is, unlike the ACC, outside of maybe Texas Tech, there's in general, most of these schools feel like they want, this is a conference they're enjoy being in, and they want to continue to push into it. You look at the ACC, which had 4 or 5 schools basically, saying they were going to sue to get out of the league, last couple of years. It feels like the Big 12 is in pretty solid footing right now, which it wasn't if you go back to like 2013 when they were essentially looked like they were dead in the water. So I just think for Yormark right now, it's trying to figure out ways of what they can move forward. If they had, maybe looking back, they'll look at that deal and think that was something they should have jumped on. But again, adding Memphis would have meant adding other school. They wouldn't want to go with an uneven school. So adding another school, and I'm not sure who that would have been. And maybe that was the holdup in all this. I don't know. Again, that's something that probably will be down the road question to ask Yormark.
Talking about all of these schools and talking about, a team like Memphis in the American, we saw the 3 schools go from the American to the Big 12. And in football, we've seen all 3 of those schools kind of have some struggles trying to compete in the Big 12. I know you cover UCF. I'm looking at my Athlon, college football preview magazine right now, and it has UCF towards the bottom of the conference. What do you expect from this Knights team this season? And, what have you made of these last couple of years for them as they've, made the transition to the Big 12?
Well, I think this year, I think there's obviously a chance to get much better. Last year, I think was difficult. They were kind of hamstrung a little bit. Scott Frost comes in late in the process. He comes in around December. It took him a bit to get his staff put together. He'd been out of coaching essentially, college coaching essentially for 2 or 3 years. He had never dealt with the transfer portal the way it was at this moment. He didn't deal with NIL at that point. All of a sudden you're dealing with revenue sharing. When he walked in the door, he tells the story that during his introductory press conference that after he was done, he went back to his office and there were 3 players and their agents standing there basically asking for more money. Jeez. And Scott says, I don't even know who these guys are. You know what I mean? And that's essentially what happened is he had to, take the roster he had. And then the portal was already open. He had to go out and try to grab as many players as he could in the portal. I think they added 70 newcomers last year. So last year really, to me in a lot of ways, was just getting your feet on the ground type season. It was just trying to get yourself set up and everything. I think this year they're in a much better situation. They went out and got a new general manager, which has helped kind of work with things to kind of with contracts and everything. They were able to keep some guys that they really felt like they wanted to bring back from last year. They have some stability there. They brought in some guys that they feel like can help them in the transfer portal. Alonzo Barnett, the talented quarterback from James Madison, is a huge pickup for them. I think that quarterback was a position of need over the last few years for UCF. And then they brought in some other pieces here and there on some of the skilled positions. I think overall they're going to be better. I mean, their schedule is okay enough, I think, that they can win some games. They have to win on the road. That's something they haven't done since they've entered the Big 12. I think overall they can be much better than finishing at the bottom of the Big 12. But again, health is a major concern. And you also, too, the idea that they've got to find a way to get over the hump. I think the biggest thing that's hurt them over the few years since moving to the Big 12 was, when they got that deal, they all took half media rights deal. It was half share media rights deal. UCF, Houston, and Cincinnati and BYU did that. And I think that hurt them because when you're going from the American to a Power 4 conference, you're only dealing with, maybe $18 million where everyone else is getting $39, $40 million. It's difficult to kind of build up your facilities, build up your rosters, do all the things you need to do that other schools are already able to do right away. And so that's been the challenge for them. Is now this year they'll get the full year of media rights. I think that'll help in a lot of ways. and they'll finally be able to focus on some of the things that they needed to focus on maybe a few years ago when they first got the invite into the Big 12.
But zero regret on going to the Big 12, is it?
Oh, zero regret. I don't think there's any person I've ever spoken with who said, boy, I wish we hadn't have done that. We could have stayed in Junior American, and look what had happened. I think it was the right move for them. And I think when you look at how things could shape out over the next decade in college athletics, you're just not sure what's going to happen to the group of five. I mean, you don't know if the group of five is going to break apart and become its own entity and have its own, playoff and do all that stuff. But I think if there's a chance that you want to be a part of the power, brokers that are making lots of money, I think, UCF would have done this deal every time, because I think they realized, listen, they wanted to be at the top echelon, and you want to be able to play at the top echelon, and I think that's happening. You're seeing some success they've had. It's maybe not on the football field, but basketball's starting to get there. You're seeing it in baseball. You're seeing it in softball. You're seeing it in some of the other sports. They're starting to really kind of get themselves their footing down. Once that happens over the next 2 years, I think things will be comfortable for them.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Murschel, our guest on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line, he's with the Orlando Sentinel, and we've had him through a lot of years. When he was in the American, when UCF was in the American, he's on with us now talking Big 12. Does Scott Frost still have his fastball?
Yeah, I think he does. I think he's a little different, since the first time he was here. I mean, I was there when he was here in 2016 and 17, and he was a guy that had a lot of buzz surrounding him, and there was a lot of expectation. And they come off that great 2017 season where they go undefeated and beat Auburn in the Peach Bowl, and then he left to go take the job in Nebraska, and things didn't necessarily go the way he wanted to. I think he's a more humble Scott Frost. I think he's a more mature Scott Frost as well, and I think he understands that that the sport has changed. The actual college athletics has changed, and college football has changed. So when I talk with him now, he feels more comfortable. He feels more like a guy who's been around the block for a while, and understands exactly what he's doing. And I think he understands that, you've got to rely on other people, and you've got to rely on some of your coaches. You've got to rely on guys who could step up and help you out. Now, that does not to say that he doesn't. He still wants to win. He still wants to be aggressive. He still wants to see that success. But it's going to be a challenge. I think he understands that more now than Again, if you're back in the American, maybe things, maybe you can have better opportunities, better chances to win, right away. But I think he also understands if you win in the Big 12, it really kind of is a good feather in your cap.
I'm with you. All right, so no regrets about the Big 12. Scott Frost still has a fastball. Any regrets if UCF could do it all over again, would they have passed on Gus?
That's a good question. I don't know if they would have. I think they needed a coach who was an established coach moving into the Big 12. If they had just hired a guy who was, let's say an assistant, a hot topic assistant, hot assistant, and maybe takes his first head coaching job, I'm not sure if that would have been what they needed going into the Big 12. They needed someone who was good at networking, someone who was good at talking to fans, talking to boosters, try to raise some money. NIL was just kind of kicking in, and they really. But
you're really not you're really not describing Gus Malzahn on talking to fans and boosters.
I know, but I think when Gus got hired, I felt like, okay, this is a good move for them, at least in the beginning.
Yeah, me
but
too.
as things went along, I think you could definitely see where Gus got worn down by. I think
personality
NIL,
deficit for Gus too.
Yeah, I think the NIL situation really wore him down, and I think also too. I think he expected there going to be more money being generated at UCF, and it wasn't. Because, again, as I tell people, this is such a young program still. You know what I mean? There's so many blue blood programs that have been around for over 100 years that have, millionaire and billionaire boosters who could write a $20 million check at a drop of a hat if the school needed money. You don't have that at UCF. And I think so it's a lot harder to raise money and to get people to buy in sometimes. I think that became kind of a bigger challenge
at every stop, Matt, for Gus. At every stop from Arkansas State on, the meteoric rise from high school, the whole story, it was a lot of hard work put in. But from Arkansas State on, I think he thought it was going to be easy. And everywhere he got to, he had to buckle down and coach, and I don't think he could.
Yeah. I mean, I think you look at the first couple of years he was here, they won 9 games, and I think people thought, okay, that's good, that things were going great, because they were still in the American a little bit, and then all of a sudden they made a shift to the Big 12, and like I said, I think it was a struggle, after that first year. I think it was a struggle really to get a grasp of how things were going, and I think he thought it was going to be easy, and it just really wasn't. I mean, that last year he was here you could see mid-season he was worn down. You could see he was frustrated. He had to fire his defensive coordinator, Ted Roof. He had to basically they took away his play calling. Yeah, he fired, and he took away his play calling. Basically he had to give up his play calling because he was getting tired. He was really struggling, and so looking back at it, maybe someone else would have been better fit to go in there and do that. But I mean, again, I think Terry Mahajer, he was a new AD coming in. It was his first. He'd just been hired maybe a month earlier. They brought in Gus late. I think Gus came in around February, if I remember correctly, and it was a challenge for him to try to get everyone aboard. And so, I mean, maybe someone else might have come in and be able to have some more success early on. But I always believed there was going to be a little bit of a struggle, especially making that transition from the American to the Big 12.
Mm-hmm. We're talking Big 12 Media Day, some UCF football as well. Matt Murschel joining us. And you look at the conference, obviously, all the talk you knew leading up to Big 12 Media Days was about Brendan Sorsby, no longer at Texas Tech. But even with him no longer at Texas Tech, it feels like this conference has a lot of really good quarterbacks sprinkled throughout the conference. What do you make of some of these quarterbacks in the Big 12 this year?
Oh yeah, I think you look at this group. I mean, there's a lot of talent right now, at that quarterback position. And I mean, Brendan Sorsby wasn't the only one that was going to be out there. Avery Johnson at Kansas State's a guy I think you're going to hear, who's put up some big numbers. Connor Wegman over at Houston has done an amazing job, at quarterback as well. I mentioned Alonzo Barnett III, with UCF. He's a guy I think that had a good success at James Madison, and a guy who led the program to the college football playoff last year. Barrett Bachmeier at BYU, I think is going to be big. DJ Lagway, who was supposed to have big things happen at Florida. He's at Baylor now. There's a guy right now that I think there. And then Noah Fifta, which is the Arizona quarterback. The school's already putting forward a Heisman campaign for him. So there's a lot of established quarterbacks in this conference right now that I think can really kind of make this league kind of interesting and fun to watch. Mm-hmm. And this is a league that, I'll tell you guys, I think much like it has been the last couple of years, it's pretty much, you look at it up and down. I mean, there's 3 or 4 teams every year you feel like could have a good shot to win it. Now, yes, Texas Tech has been the favorite the last few years, but, BYU has been right there. Mm-hmm. Houston's going to be really good again. Utah will be good. We mentioned Arizona. I mean, there are a group of 4 or 5 schools this year, especially, I think, can make a serious run, especially if Texas Tech struggles a little bit now that they don't have Thorsby at quarterback.
What's been your favorite road trip town to go to and see for the first time in the Big 12 after so many college football stops covering other places? What's been your favorite in the Big 12?
To me, it's been, I would say probably going to Manhattan, Kansas, checking out,
the Little Apple.
Manhattan. Yeah, the Little Apple. Yeah, exactly. With Kansas State, it's very much a small town college school. Where the town itself is built around the school, and you get that feel when you're driving into Manhattan that there's excitement, surrounding the program. I remember having dinner there the night before the game, and I was in a little restaurant, and the band came marching down the main drag of the main street of the town, playing, Friday night, playing the fight song and everything. And fans got up and cheered and everything. And they came into each restaurant, each bar, and did like a quick pass and went out and went to another one. And it was just something I'd never seen before, where you really kind of everyone embraced that. I think that was a fun time. Iowa State was really good. Ames was really good. It's a small, again, their tailgate is amazing. If you ever get a chance to go see, they have an amazing tailgate, which covers like most of the campus. And you're just, when you stand up on top of the top of the stadium, you can really see how many fans show up for these games. I've enjoyed that. Lubbock is interesting. It's out in the middle of nowhere in Texas, but it's it's definitely a town where I think people enjoy themselves. I'm going to have a chance to visit a few other places. Like I haven't been to Colorado to Boulder yet, but I'm going there this year. It looks like.
See Ralphie.
So that's going to be. Yeah, Ralphie. Yeah, I haven't a chance to see Ralphie yet, but I'm going to get.
And Ralphie's a she.
Year. That's right, Ralphie's a she. So yeah, there you go. In West Virginia, I thought Morgantown again, another small little town, college town that really got stood out, and it's So that's the thing I like about this conference is, unlike the American, it's nothing against the American. Is the American has a lot of big cities, big communities around them. You look at Memphis, obviously. You look at Philadelphia with Temple. You look at Tampa, with USF. To me, going to a lot of the little smaller towns where it's more college town atmosphere, it just stands out to me. It just makes things a little more special, and it's maybe a little harder to get there sometimes. Believe me, I've spent a lot more time in Kansas the last 2 years than I have in my entire life. But it's an interesting trip to make, and it's interesting to kind of see some of these schools that are involved in it.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people talking about the top teams in the Big 12. You mentioned them: Texas Tech, BYU, Houston. Who is the team in the Big 12 that you're kind of looking at going into the season? Could play that dark horse? Could be the team that not enough people are talking about right now?
Well, I think to me right now it's got to be Utah. You think about the fact that what happened to Utah in the off season. Obviously they lose their talented coach. You talk about what they've been able to do over the last few years, and you think, okay, here's what's going to happen. But to me, Utah is an interesting kind of story here. First year coach coming in, first new time coach coming in. You've got an opportunity maybe to really kind of make some hay. Morgan Scaley has been a guy who's obviously had his time and understands what goes on in this program. Dan Pierre's a talented quarterback who played at New Mexico State. A guy who is coming back for another year, has a chance to do some good things. Their defense is probably going to be pretty solid as well. They're kind of not my dark horse, kind of pick. I know they're probably maybe third or fourth in the league when you look at probably the rankings. I think Kansas State could be an interesting team. You know what I mean? Again, another first-year coach. Houston is another one that I think, another American team. Let's talk about, Houston. Willie Fritz has did an amazing job, when he was at Tulane. Houston brings back a lot of talented players again this well. So I don't think it's necessarily a given that Texas Tech is, going to win this thing outright. I think there are going to be some teams that are really going to step up and try to make a challenge. If there is a slippage, if the Red Raiders find slip here or there, lose a game here or there, I think there's an opportunity for some of these other programs to step up and maybe make some moves.
In Texas Tech, they have a big old bullseye, self-administered. They're everybody's game of the year.
Yeah, and I also think that because of the Sorsby stuff, because of the way they responded to the Sorsby stuff, there is a lot of animosity. They become that team that everyone's going to hate. You know what I mean? It's like, remember when Texas was kind of that way? Texas and Oklahoma were kind of that way in the Big 12 when they were talking about leaving to go to the SEC. Everyone was hating Texas. Everyone thought, I think Texas Tech is that team now. I think everywhere where they go on the road, they're going to get a rude awakening because people are going to look at it and say, okay, we want to beat these guys. And they're going to carry that, that kind of bullseye on the back. And it's going to be everyone's Super Bowl, when you think about it, and I think there's going to be some games that, the thing about the Texas Tech is their schedule's not that tough. When you really look at it, they're on the road at Colorado, they're at Oklahoma State, they're at Baylor, and they're at Cincinnati. Cincinnati would have probably been the most interesting game if Sorsby was still playing. But, again, there's going to be lots of animosity, I think, from fan bases outside of Lubbock.
Oh, yeah. Well, it feels like it's going to be a really fun season in the Big 12 this year. Definitely interested to see what UCF does this year as well. But, Matt, as always, thanks so much for joining us, and we definitely have to do this again soon.
Yeah, very much. Hit me up anytime.
Absolutely. Thanks, Matt.
All right. Take care.
Matt Murschel joining us from the Orlando Sentinel to talk all things Big 12 and UCF. And I'm really intrigued with this UCF team this year. I mentioned it, the Athlon magazine has them pretty low in the conference. I think second to last in the conference. But you kind of look at what they brought in. You look at that roster. You look at Scott Frost as a coach, and I wouldn't be surprised if they do much better than that preseason prediction.
Well, I think they will improve, but boy, it is a really balanced league. After you get past the big money from Cody Campbell in Texas Tech, this may be the most equitable fishing off the same dock league out there.
Yeah, you look at it up and down, and it looks like a lot of teams that look a lot alike to each other and could have very similar seasons. So I'm definitely looking forward to the Big 12 this year. Feels like a lot of people talking about those top couple teams, but I like what he said about Utah, bringing back Devin Dampier. We know new coaching staff coming in, but I'm expecting some big things from Utah this season. But
all right, do you think you had anything to do with the no-hitter being broken up?
No, I didn't, because I didn't.
You didn't say a word.
No, I didn't mention it.
So see, it was broken up without you even mentioning it. If you had mentioned it, you would be thinking you did that. You were
exactly
albatross.
right. You're exactly right. And
it had nothing to do with it.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what all went into the breaking of the no-hitter. Sometimes it just wasn't meant to be. I don't know. I did see the no-hitter little tag at the top of the scoreboard for the ninth inning. I don't know when that was.
Rob Fisher texted me.
Well,
do we blame it on Rob?
I don't want to blame Rob, and I don't know when he texted you. So, maybe
no
he
hitter
texted
alert
you before, but I'm saying
on 124 pitches before he served up
that's
to
right.
you.
That's exactly right. So, no, it was a great outing for him, but just couldn't get the job done. I don't want to blame anybody, but I certainly was not going to have anybody pointing fingers at me that I ruined it. So
you were quiet in the dugout, weren't you?
You gotta be quiet in the dugout. You don't say anything about the no-no, but Dylan Cease, really, really impressive showing for him. Gets through 8 innings, and then Heliot Ramos comes up in the 9th inning, gets the base hit. They take him out, but a big win for the Blue Jays against the Giants. But we're going to get to a break here in a second, but before we do that, let me remind you that this 5 o'clock hour is brought to you each and every afternoon by Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet. The Dobbs family, an old established name, is back in the car business in Memphis. Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet, located at 7850 Highway 64 in Bartlett, offering a full selection of new Chevrolets and quality used cars to meet every need and budget. Head out there today and check out those beautiful new vehicles like the 2026 Chevy Silverado 1500, the 2026 Chevy Traverse, or the 2026 Chevy Equinox, a redesigned, rugged meets modern style vehicle with a 1.5-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder gas engine. At Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet, it's fully transparent pricing. No hidden fees, no games, and they cover you with all your needs with their service department. Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet welcomes you to a new way of providing excellent customer service. So head out to Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet in Bartlett, 7850 Highway 64, open Monday through Saturday from 8:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. You can go online, view those vehicles at DobbsBrothersChevrolet.com, but head out there, see them in person, test drive them today at Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet of Bartlett. Well, let's get to another break, and when we return, we'll talk about what's trending.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Yes, it's that time again, and after all, you bought or sold a house 25 years ago, and everything should be the same. Wrong. This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Marks Bensdorf Realtors, and just like artificial intelligence, AI, it's changing the landscape. Buying and selling a home today is worlds apart from when you last did it, whether it was 25 years ago, 40 years ago, or 2 years ago. Just like getting through a jungle, you need a trusted guide who has a highly successful strategic marketing program when you're selling, and who also knows the trails and pitfalls when you're buying. You may have heard of me due to the fact that I not only am the worst golfer in town, but people often say when you want the job done, call Shell Dunn. Whether you're thinking of selling or buying or merely want a conversation about what to do or not to do, you can always reach me, Shell Dunn Rosengarten, at 483-0546 or email me at memphisrelocate.com. That's memphisrelocate.com or call me at 483-0546.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Use Polymarket to trade the World Soccer quarterfinals. Delete that sportsbook app that's robbing you and join the millions using Polymarket. Polymarket is a prediction market, not a sportsbook. You trade against other fans, not the house. Polymarket, your go-to prediction market for soccer's biggest stage, available in all 50 states. Download the Polymarket app, use promo code FOX to unlock $50 free for your first trade. That's promo code FOX. Trading not available in all jurisdictions. Check local regulations before trading. Restrictions and eligibility apply.
Chris Price here with Metro Builders Roofing and Restoration. We've seen days, even what seems like weeks of soaking rain, damaging hail, and even flooding. So today, do one simple thing. Look up. If you see a water stain, bubbling paint, or discoloration on your ceiling, don't ignore it. What starts as a small roof leak can quickly become mold, turning a minor problem into a major expense. At Metro Builders Memphis, our professionals will inspect your roof, assess any storm damage, help mitigate further damage. We'll measure your roof from outer space and guide you through the repair or replacement process with an estimate on site with multiple options at that. Don't let them tell you your roof needs to be replaced when all it may need is some love. We'll give you an honest assessment so you can make the right decision for your home and family. At Metro Builders Memphis, call me, 901-375-1717. That's 901-375-1717, or simply book your appointment online at metrobuildersmemphis.com.
Sports 56 traffic.
Well, good afternoon. They're going to remain over here for a while. I'm sure pulling this car out of the woods on 40 westbound, just past Hollywood. It's been just crazy over here the last couple of weeks with all this road work going on, especially during rush hour traffic. Yes, it's heavy eastbound, but boys, it's still slow westbound on I-40 over here just past Hollywood as they work this accident with injuries. Hey, don't let a slipping transmission make things worse on your car or truck. Having transmission problems, come to Amco Transmissions here in Memphis with 2 locations. I'm Commander Chuck, your on-time traffic.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet, 7450 Highway 64 in Bartlett. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you as we've got about 30 minutes left in today's show. We got to talk about what's trending and a handful of things trending right now. A lot of talk about the almost no-no. We mentioned it in our last segment, but Dylan Cease, he goes into the 9th inning. Then Heliot Ramos gets the single to get him out of the game, but still a big win for the Toronto Blue Jays, 10-0 in San Francisco over the Giants. We got a lot of baseball games about to get started, with a handful of them starting here in about 6 minutes or so at 5:40. And we've got a couple of ESPN games tonight with Major League Baseball, as I know 6 o'clock will be Phillies and Reds, and then I'm not sure what the late game on ESPN is, but I know one of those late night games on ESPN later tonight. Oh, Diamondbacks and Padres later tonight on ESPN, so a little ESPN doubleheader tonight.
Padres talking about maybe dealing that great reliever.
Yeah, and that would be really, really something if they ultimately do that. Obviously, gave up a ton to go and get him from the Athletics, including one of the top prospects in all of Major League Baseball, to go get Mason Miller. A lot of people, when that trade happened, said, you're giving up an awful lot for a relief pitcher. He's really, really good, but when you're talking about a closer, you can only use him so often. And so yeah, I mean, you would just add that to
the return would be great.
Oh.
The team's desperate down and you win in October with late inning relievers.
No, the return would be great, but add it to the list of another big time player that you brought in San Diego, and you did absolutely nothing with.
They've tried. They've tried.
They've done just about everything, and so
and Bruce Marshall last Friday was right. If Stanman was not a first year guy, they would make him pay the price.
No, they
may anyway.
Yeah, I mean it's real ugly because you look at the roster every single year for San Diego, and you kind of look at it and go, this is a team that can compete. This is a playoff type of roster, and they just are never able to come through. And when they do, it's usually early exits. And so, yeah, I mean, you look now, they're a game under 500, both them and the Diamondbacks tonight, playing with the same records. And, I mean, it's kind of like what we were talking about with Colorado. Nobody's talking about the Padres right now. They've got plenty of stars on that roster. Absolutely nobody's talking about them. And so, yeah, there'll be a fun one later tonight on ESPN. But that's definitely a team where a lot of eyes are going to be on them deadline time to see which direction they go.
What did the final pitch total count get for Cease?
Let's take a look. The final numbers were... Oh, of course they're not going to tell me. I don't know. It was certainly up there, but
in the 120s.
Yeah, I think it was in the 120s. I'd have to go to MLB, and I don't have that pulled up right now.
I'm trying to find it.
I don't know exactly
as well.
What the pitch total was, but it got up there. I was kind of surprised. I was looking maybe after the 7th inning to see where he was at, and he was over 100 at that point, and I was kind of saying, I don't know if they send him back out there, because we've seen a lot of guys get close to no-nos this year, and the team making the decision to try to go combine. So, yeah, right under 120.
So, all right, so this would be a good one to watch. Was it worth going for it?
Yeah.
Because we always get mad and say it doesn't count when they go the group thing. So they leave him in there. The Blue Jays have only had one no-hitter in their history, Dave Steve, way back in 90, September 2nd, 1990. Just Google it. Dave Steve. They were going for their second in franchise history. When's he go again? Well, he won't go again before the break.
It was kind of the perfect possibility.
Good time to push him out there. They knew what they were doing.
And that's a good point, because I was just saying, in that 7th inning, I was kind of looking at where he was at, and he was at about 102, 103, and I was...
No, you didn't say that. You were being coy about it. You didn't say anything.
I'm saying I was thinking.
Okay.
In my mind, I was thinking, they might not send him back out there just because... you're up there. Dylan Cease is not the youngest guy out there. We've seen time and time again this year, teams get close to no hitters and they'll throw those relief pitchers out there.
It ran Johan Santana going for the Mets, first one in team history against the Cardinals. They got it, but that was it for him.
Yeah. And so,
that got into the 130s, I think.
So, yeah, I wasn't even thinking about All-Star break being next week, so it was perfect time for Cease to have that magical game and try to go for it. 11 strikeouts for him, 3 walks, gave up that hit in the 9th inning. It was all Blue Jays. They got the 5 spot in the 1st inning. Didn't scratch again until the 8th inning. Plated 2 there, plated 3 in the 9th inning. So, really, really impressive performance. That's a Blue Jays team. They're trying to rally around, trying to get back to around 500 because they have not it hadn't been going their way to start the season. So we'll see what it looks like the rest of the way for them. But yeah, ton of games getting ready to start here. You got Cubs, Orioles, Yankees, Rays, Athletics, Tigers.
14 before bedtime or before midnight.
Yeah, no, I mean it's a lot of games getting ready to get
go
started.
right into to midnight, right into the Scottish Open.
That's right. Yeah, I mean if you're a late night owl, then yeah, you got to set up for you tonight. Got all the sports happening. So
I'll wake up to all the news.
There you go. Yeah, that's exactly right. I'll be really interested in this Yankees game tonight. Who's going tonight for both of these teams? Let's see. I don't even know where that game is. McClanahan is going for Tampa Bay. He's been pretty good this year. And then who's going for the Yankees? Garrett Cole. So that will be a really interesting game tonight. We saw Tampa Bay win last night. The Yankees getting the win on Monday. This has been a great series, and I think it's going to continue to be a great series tonight. Yankees always up there at the top, but what Tampa Bay's doing this year, I feel like we bring them up all the time, and maybe not bring them up enough because they have been one of the real stories of the season this year.
And they're doing it again.
Mm-hmm.
that front office, and they do it on just zero budget.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it's impressive. Their system, and
that's where Heim Bloom came from.
No, that's exactly right. And I know a lot of Cardinal fans have kind of talked about, hoping to kind of get like what that Rays system has turned into. And so maybe he's able to make it happen. But yeah, it's you got to give them credit for what they're doing. They're real cheap, but also they make it work. They are a winning franchise. So they're a lot of fun to watch, and that should be a really good game tonight. But I am excited to see the Reds tonight on ESPN. That's one of the teams I don't get to watch ever because I don't have the subscription to watch their game. So I'll be locked in on the Reds tonight at 6:00 on ESPN, seeing what they look like. I take advantage of that every single time I can when they're on national TV. So should be a fun night in Major League Baseball. We talked some NBA earlier today, some other kind of smaller news out there around the association as free agency continues to march on. Larry Nance Jr. signed a 1-year, $4 million deal with the Indiana Pacers. I think that's a nice addition to the Pacers after the year that they had last season. And then our old friend Jonas Valanciunas, he has been waived by the Denver Nuggets.
Landon's favorite player.
That's exactly right. He loves him some Jonas Valanciunas. He did say he was glad that he hadn't bought a Nuggets jersey yet for JV. But we'll see what happens with him. The Shams tweet says Valanciunas is expected to receive interest from multiple NBA teams. But if you remember last offseason, when he signed with the Nuggets or got sent to the Nuggets, that was a trade. He was trying to get out of that contract to go play European basketball over in the Euro League. So we'll be really interested to see, does he land with another NBA team or does he go back overseas to Europe and kind of wrap up his career over there?
More games played, Larry Nance Jr. or Larry Nance Sr.?
I'm going to say Junior.
Senior. 920 games played in his career. Junior at the 581 mark.
That?
I would have thought that same thing. That's what inspired me to go to Basketball Ref. I thought more, but not half, almost half.
I like Larry Nance Jr. He's a nice player. Can be a good player for that Indiana team this year.
Nance's injuries will keep him from playing.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
That's That's a really good point. It definitely has.
What's going on with Tim Hardaway's uniform number now? It's okay.
Is it okay now? Good.
Yeah, that's what the headlines say.
Good for them. I mean, we talked about it last week. You were for it. I thought it was weird. Not that I was for or against it. I just thought it was kind of weird. And now I guess he'll be wearing number 10 for Miami.
I mean, what happened to go earn it? That didn't last a week.
Maybe everybody was on the side of let your son wear the number, and then he kind of caved into it. I just think it's weird. Like, it would have been one thing if they kind of sat down before he got to the league and he said, hey, just make your own, do your own thing. Wear a different number than number 10. But he's worn number 10 before in his NBA career, and then it's like he gets down to Miami and it's like, no, you absolutely cannot wear my number 10. Like, I get it's retired, but like, who cares?
What does retiring mean then?
We see.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask. If it's already retired and they take it out the rafters for the son to play with it, it's like, how valuable is retiring?
We got Bam Adebayo wearing 13, and it's retired for Dan Marino.
Well, that's a little different, but I mean, it's father-son. I mean, if he wants to wear number 10, I think, by golly, I think you should be able to wear number 10.
I'm not going to throw down about it, but
no, I'm not going to throw down about it. But again, like, if this was a situation where he's worn number 12 his entire career and he gets to Miami, he's like, man, I just want to wear my dad's number. Then I'm like, don't do that. But it's the fact that he's worn number 10 before, and he's kind of made it his thing as along with his dad's thing. I don't know. I just thought that was kind of weird. So now he'll wear number 10, and who knows? Maybe we'll see LeBron picking a number for the Miami Heat here in a couple of days. I think that would be interesting if he goes to Miami. Certainly would make a lot of headlines back on Miami. We'll see when that decision comes. Jared thinks we get the decision by tomorrow. Now, you're saying
I hope so.
Tomorrow by the time we start the show tomorrow afternoon, right? Or is this at any point tomorrow?
I was actually doing a little bit of research, and the Wolves play the earliest game at 2:30.
At 2:30, yeah.
The 76ers play at 4:30.
Okay.
I was just looking at all the teams that are still in the top
So you're
5
saying
of getting
kinda-
them, and
kinda see where they
maybe we get an announcement before one of the teams that he's projected to go to.
I like
or
the
still
idea of
interested in
him
him.
showing up at Summer League and almost taking notes on the different
Right.
Summer League teams of man, I don't know if I want to play for you. I don't know how I like your rookies and your G League guys out there in Summer League.
All right, real quick, the Hardaways, more games, junior or senior?
I'm going to say senior.
Senior, 867 games played. Junior already at 893.
Holy cow. Wow.
I would have thought the other way. I missed on Nance's and the Hardaways today.
No, well, hey, we'll try to be better tomorrow with our guesses out there. But who knows? Maybe we'll have some big news tomorrow afternoon with LeBron James. Let's go ahead and get to our final break of the day. And when we return, we'll wrap up today's show like we always do with Mo's Crunch Time.
You have opinions?
I think it's over.
Of course you do.
I don't think it's that simple.
Everyone does.
I got all the answers.
Hit us up on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line at 360-8255.
I'm Gary York. I'm the service director at Lexus of Memphis. Our service department wants to be more than just a place where you get your oil changed. We do glass repair, windshield replacement, recalibration of your camera and sonar systems, even wheel repair, tire replacement, all the things you would expect from a luxury automotive dealer. Please check out our website. You can schedule your appointment, check out our specials, hours of operation, or if you'd like to do it in person, please reach out to one of our associates at 901-271-5199.
A long life is wonderful, but it comes with changes as you age. So when you're ready to change your home, Town Village Audubon Park is the perfect choice. Incredible location, amazing amenities, including a pool, all-inclusive dining, and on-site medical care so you can age in place. Monthly rental with no buy-in lets you make current choices. Apartments include full kitchen, washer and dryer, bi-weekly housekeeping, and all basic utilities. Landscape courtyards make it easy to get sunshine and fresh air. Gated parking keeps you ready to go. And the Town Village Dog Park keeps your fur baby close by your side. Hi, I'm Max. My wife Jean and I moved into Town Village Audubon Park 18 months ago. It's the best decision we ever made. We have made friends here and take part in lots of social activities. It's a comfortable life. So if you're thinking of making a change, come see me and Town Village Audubon Park. I think you'll like it as much as we do. And look, new friends.
Hi, I'm Ryan Saharovich, a proud partner with NST Injury Attorneys. For over 35 years, we've been fighting for Memphis families after serious accidents when insurance companies are trying to pay as little as possible. We don't back down. NST is the way to go.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. Do you know what Penny Hardaway and I have in common? We should both be in that building celebrating the best basketball players of all time. Of course, I'll have to buy a ticket to get in, but he should already be there. But seriously, we both surround ourselves with the best people we can find. We work hard to achieve our goals, and we are both among the best in our respective fields. At Fiveash, we can't win titles or get national awards, but what we can and do strive to do is give 100% of ourselves to give you the best product possible and one you can be proud of. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call at 901-367-0050, and we will do everything we can to provide you the best of everything. Fiveash Roofing. Fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Crunch Time is brought to you by Moe's Southwest Grill. Need a crunchy bite to eat? Head to Moe's for nachos, crunch wraps, tacos, salads, and more. Moe's.com is your go-to for all your taco crunch time emergencies.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Dobbs Brothers Chevrolet at 7450 Highway 64 in Bartlett. Here once again.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started.
Spanning the globe.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy!
crazy. This game has always been called the world's greatest cocktail party. Do you know what is going to happen here tonight?
This is for all the biggest crunch time.
You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like that?
Crunch time between the hedges.
The ball game is over, and Memphis has its first win in 16 tries. Its first win ever against its fierce in-state rival Tennessee.
Goodbye.
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin. This baby is over.
Well, Crunch Time is brought to you by Moe's Southwest Grill. Need a crunchy bite to eat? Head to Moe's for nachos, crunch wraps, tacos, salads, and more. Moe's.com, it is your go-to for all your taco crunch time emergencies. Well, Brett, what I learned today is I'm still trying to completely understand all of the, how everything went all sorts of ways in that 6-team trade that we saw last night in the NBA. But what I do know is what the Grizzlies got in return. We've talked about it a lot today. Isaiah Stewart feels like the only guy out of the 3 players that they got in that trade that will suit up for the Grizzlies this year. D'Angelo Russell, I expect that one to be pretty quick, and that contract either getting bought out or sent somewhere else. And then A.J. Johnson, I mentioned I haven't seen anything one way or the other, but I would love to see him join the Grizzlies Summer League team and kind of see what he's got. Maybe see if there is something there that you would want to keep him around on the roster. But if I was a betting man, which I am, I would bet that he is not on the roster when the season starts. We also know that Quentin Post is a Grizzly after the Warriors did not match that offer sheet. They had the deadline of last night. They didn't offer it. So Grizzlies adding, I think, some really nice pieces in the front court.
You getting a jersey for Post?
I don't think I'm going to get a Quentin Post jersey.
What I learned today, the blame game and the long knives and the finger pointing, ooh, it's rampant out there in force for the defeated U.S. soccer team. Doesn't feel like much of a win. It doesn't feel like this was even a moral victory. Players are really getting dogged out. Coach catching a little, but players more than anything. People are saying lucky draw. Proof once again, Bryant. Victory has 1,000 fathers, and defeat really is an orphan.
No, it really is. And, I saw somebody predict the 2030 World Cup U.S. national team last night, and there were very few starters from this year's team on that year's team.
2030.
I think a lot of that has to do
Never
with
too
the
soon,
way that
is
they
it?
went out. No, never too soon.
Well, in this
Start
case, it
looking at
might really be.
2030. Yeah, no, I think we're a little soon on that. What I could have done without, it's really been how Brendan Sorsby, even though he's not with Texas Tech or Cincinnati anymore, it felt like he still dominated Big 12 media days. The commissioner was asked questions about it yesterday. There was a lot of talk when Texas Tech was there yesterday. And then today, the NCAA goes out and says that they're going to investigate Cincinnati and what they knew about his gambling issue when he was on their roster. So I don't know when this is ever going to end. It felt like, okay, it's going to come to an end when he was no longer eligible at Texas Tech. Then the NFL said, we don't want you. We thought that was the end of the story. Then the CFL said they don't want him. Then we thought that was the end of the story. But we knew that it was going to be a big story. But, man, I feel like it kind of dominated a little more than I wanted it to over the last 2 days at Big 12 Media Days.
2030 World Cup, jointly hosted by Morocco, Portugal, and Spain.
Yeah, how about that? Another joint
How about
World
that
Cup. Yeah. You ready for it? You gonna attend a game that year?
I doubt.
I don't think so. That'd be a big ask.
My big 2030 goal, seriously.
Yeah.
President's Cup at Bellerive in St. Louis.
That'd be really fun.
What I could have done without the Brewers, they don't even sweat the Cardinals. Punching bag, full, chumps, easy marks. Okay. That's been established. Now, Brewers, go win something other than the National League Central. Brew Crew hadn't been in a World Series since 1982 when they were American League champs and lost in 7 to St. Louis.
Yeah. I mean, hopefully this is the year that they do something, but it feels like we say that a lot, and it never is the year that they do much of anything. Where are you beaming now?
Built for the regular season, aren't they?
Yeah, it feels like they are built for the regular season. Where are you beaming?
Beam me to the Twin Cities. Don't have to worry about the cold tonight. Cleveland at Minnesota. Wide open AL Central. The 963rd meeting between these two. Cleveland leads 501 to 461. And they play 8 more times this year after tonight.
Wow. Wow, that is incredible. You're right. That division is wide open. It's going to be one to watch the rest of the way. But being me, I mentioned in our last segment, I really am excited to get my eyes on this Reds team. They're a handful of games under 500, but Chase Burns, we talk about paying money to go see. 10-1 on the season, 2.4 ERA. You talk about paying money to see a player every single time they touch the field. Chase Burns, he's worth the price of admission.
15 baseball games from 2:45 until midnight tonight. All the baseball taking over the sports world tonight. Poor Cardinals beat down by the Brewers. You know it's coming. Braves at Buccos, Mariners at Marlins. What if that's your World Series? Mariners at Marlins.
Well, I talk about another team that might be built for the regular season. It might be the Mariners this year.
Sure could be.
They have been a team that are frustrating to watch at times this year. But hey, a couple games over 500 now. Maybe they turn around. But it is going to be a great night of baseball. And then, hey, if you're one of those late night owls, you'll have the Scottish Open starting at 1 a.m. But that's all the time we have. Enjoy the rest of your night. We'll talk to you again tomorrow afternoon.
You know what makes the city great? It's the